Chapter 2979. No. When we were given this authority, we tried it. We can indeed control the power of laws. I think the reason is because of them. Qin Yuan looked at the purple-clothed young man and the white-haired old man. Qin Feiyang was stunned. They could even interfere with the power of laws? Our methods are not something you can imagine. The purple-clothed young man chuckled and said, "Old Hai, let's continue." Okay. The white-haired old man nodded. Wait. Qin Feiyang hurriedly shouted. Have you thought it through? The purple-clothed young man smiled slightly. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice, "Are you related to Ice Dragon?" I said it's not important. The purple-clothed young man said. Then why did you take her to the 4th level? Qin Feiyang looked at the purple-clothed young man gloomily. Didn't I say? I like her. The purple-clothed young man chuckled. Qin Feiyang clenched his hands tightly. You're helpless, right? You clearly have a sovereign weapon, but you can only watch us do whatever we want. The purple-clothed young man laughed. Let them go. Let's go somewhere else. I'll fight you however you want. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice. Somewhere else, the purple-clothed young man smiled playfully and said, then let's go to the Black Tortoise world. You, Qin Feiyang glared at him. Didn't you say we should go somewhere else? What? Now I agree. Are you still not happy? The purple-clothed young man chuckled. The Black Tortoise world. The white-eyed wolf stared at the purple-clothed young man and roared, I really want to beat his face up so he can't laugh. Calm down. Not only is there a half-step sovereign, but there's also a sovereign weapon. Even if we give it our all and fight with everything we have, we might not be able to defeat them. Fire Lotus said. The mermaid princess muttered, the best way is for me to go with them. Don't even think about it. We won't allow it, and neither will little Qin Zi. The white-eyed wolf looked at the mermaid princess and said. Outside. The purple-clothed young man looked at the silent Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, Great Qin or the bride, you can choose. You can only choose one. Qin Feiyang roared, how could I possibly make such a choice? All right then, I'll help you choose. Old C. The purple-clothed young man said indifferently. Understood. The white-haired old man nodded. With a wave of his wizened arm, a spatial crack appeared. Not good. Yi Zhong's expression changed. This was the law of spacetime. Qin Feiyang's expression also changed abruptly. He hurriedly entered the Black Tortoise realm and saw that the white-robed old man had already appeared beside the mermaid princess. Stop him! Qin Feiyang roared. The 5-clawed golden dragon, Wang Ming, Yang Li, the white-eyed wolf and the others immediately pounced on the old man in white. Ants! The white-haired old man said indifferently and waved his hand. Without any strength, everyone was instantly sent flying and vomited blood. Immediately after, the white-haired old man grabbed the mermaid princess and disappeared into the spatial crack. Damn it, damn it! Qin Feiyang roared and instantly appeared outside. He saw that the white-haired old man was already standing beside the purple-clothed young man with the mermaid princess. Bastard! Qin Feiyang grabbed the castle and charged at the purple-clothed young man. What an affectionate person! The purple-clothed young man shook his head and smiled. Old C, let's go! Old C waved his hand and another spatial crack appeared. Don't worry, we won't hurt your bride. We'll wait for you on the 4th level. But if you don't come, I'm afraid your bride will be in danger. The purple-clothed young man looked at Qin Feiyang and smiled, then turned and stepped into the spatial crack. Old C also stepped into the spatial crack with the mermaid princess. Feiyang, take care, mermaid princess turned and looked at Qin Feiyang who was flying away. 2 drops of tears fell from the corner of her eyes. No, Qin Feiyang roared, and the castle attacked the spatial crack, but it couldn't stop the 3 of them. Bastard, bastard. Let's go, we'll go to the 4th level now and kill them. Black Tortoise Realm. The white-eyed wolf roared, his anger overflowing. Outside. Qin Feiyang lay in the void, his eyes filled with pain. Suddenly. He waved his hand and kept the castle. At the same time, Qin Yuan appeared. Feiyang, Qin Yuan was about to comfort him. Qin Feiyang said, Uncle Yuan, bring me to the demonic dragon island. Qin Batian flew up and said to Qin Feiyang, Feiyang, you won't be able to catch up. Yeah. That person called Old Sea is already a half-step sovereign. He must have completely comprehended the spacetime law. Lu Zhengyang also said. Qin Feiyang said angrily, are we just going to watch her be taken away? Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang looked at each other and nodded at Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan waved his hand and disappeared with the few of them. Who on earth is this person? Even the Qin the Arch and the others aren't a match for them. As soon as they left, the imperial city was in an uproar. Demonic Dragon Island. Qin Feiyang looked around and saw that there was no one. He went straight to the bottom of the sea. Beside the altar. Qin Yuan looked at Qin Feiyang worriedly and transmitted his voice to Qin Batian and the others, I can't leave the great Qin. Look after him. Okay. The 3 of them nodded. As the altar opened, Qin Feiyang walked up with a gloomy face. Qin Batian and the others followed closely behind. Sigh. After the 4 of them left, Qin Yuan sighed deeply. Couldn't the heavens be nicer to this child? The 2nd level. Above the altar. Qin Feiyang and the others appeared out of thin air. Huh. However, when the 4 of them appeared, they found the fire python lying beside the altar with injuries all over its body. Brother Fire, what happened to you? Qin Feiyang's expression changed. He quickly landed beside the fire python and asked. The fire python was extremely weak, and its vitality was fading. Seeing that the situation was bad, Qin Feiyang hurriedly took out a large number of divine-grade life divine pills and stuffed them into the fire python's mouth. Boundless vitality instantly exploded in the fire python's body. Its injuries were recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. The dissipating vitality also stabilized. After the fire python recovered, it immediately looked at Qin Feiyang apologetically and said, I'm sorry. I couldn't stop them. You've seen them? Qin Feiyang asked in a deep voice. Yes. Not long ago, they suddenly appeared on the 3rd level. I immediately asked them. They said they wanted to go to the Great Qin. I thought, why do the people on the 4th level want to go to the Great Qin? So I stopped them and didn't allow them to go. But they were too strong. I couldn't stop them. Just a while ago, they came back from the Great Qin and brought your woman. I immediately realized that something was wrong and stopped them, asking them to put down the mermaid princess. But not only did they not listen, they even attacked and almost killed me. The fire python said angrily. As the guardian of the 3rd level, it was humiliating to be injured by outsiders. Qin Batian said in surprise, don't you control the power of laws? How could they hurt you? That's the most terrifying thing. I don't know why, but in front of them, I can't control the power of laws. The fire python said. What? You can't control the power of laws either. The 4 of them were shocked. What do you mean? The fire python looked at the 4 of them suspiciously. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice, to be honest, before in the Great Qin, Uncle Yuan couldn't control the power of laws either. Even he can't control it? What's going on here? The fire python frowned. Qin Feiyang shook his head and said, I don't know. Why don't you try again and see if you can control the power of laws now? The fire python nodded. With a thought, the power of laws suddenly descended from the sky. The fire python and Qin Feiyang were dumbfounded. It could actually control the power of laws? It seems that it's as Qin Yuan guessed. The reason is indeed on them. Lu Zhengyang said. It's too unbelievable. To be able to interfere with the power of laws, what kind of method is this? Qin Feiyang asked, did they go to the third level? The fire python nodded. Let's go. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and immediately revived the altar. No need to revive the altar. I will bring you guys up directly. As the fire python finished speaking, an invisible force descended. The next moment, the three of them appeared in the shrine. The shrine's door was wide open. Qin Feiyang rushed out of the shrine and stood in the sky, scanning the surroundings. Except for the giant beasts, there was no one else. At the same time, the fire python closed its eyes and expanded its perception infinitely. Qin Feiyang and the others looked at it nervously. After a while, the fire python opened its eyes and looked at Qin Feiyang. They're gone. They should have returned to the fourth level. Bastard! I won't forgive them. Qin Feiyang roared, Brother Fire, send me to the fourth level now. Okay. The fire python nodded. Wait. Qin Batian said. What's wrong? Qin Feiyang asked. Qin Batian transmitted his voice, if we go to the fourth level now, what about your father and the others? Qin Feiyang's body stiffened. That's right. Father and the others are still in the Black Tortoise world. The fourth level is full of powerhouses. It's hard to predict good or bad luck. I can't let father and the others take the risk. Calm down first. Didn't they say it when they left? They won't hurt you, for the time being. Let's go back first. After settling everything, we'll go to the fourth level. Qin Batian said. The main reason why he did this was to give Qin Feiyang some time to calm down. Because Qin Feiyang had almost lost his mind. If he rushed to the fourth level, he would definitely die. So, he had to calm down first before he could deal with all of this rationally. Yi Zhong looked at Qin Feiyang and said, your ancestor is right. Let's go back first. After calming down, we'll go to the fourth level. Qin Feiyang looked at the east side of the Nether King's Hell. His hands clenched tightly as he muttered, don't be afraid, I will definitely save you. Then, with the help of the fire python, the four of them returned to Great Qin. At this moment, the imperial city was in chaos. The 9th city district was ruthlessly destroyed, and the 8th city district was also destroyed. Countless people lay in pools of blood, wailing in pain. Sigh. Qin Yuan brought Qin Feiyang and the others back to the sky above the imperial city. Looking at this scene, he couldn't help but sigh. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and many divine life pills appeared and fell down. Quickly consume these divine life pills to heal your injuries. Your Highness. Everyone got up and looked at Qin Feiyang with anger, pain, and sadness on their faces. Chapter 2980. Looking at those faces, Qin Feiyang felt extremely guilty in his heart. He bowed and said, I'm sorry, I've implicated all of you. Your Highness, this isn't your fault. Because we all heard your conversation. They were the ones who were looking for trouble. Everyone roared. Thank you, everyone. Qin Feiyang bowed and waved his hand. The people and beasts that were sent to the Black Tortoise realm appeared one after another. Father, get someone to deal with the aftermath. Qin Feiyang looked at the emperor and said a few words, then turned around and walked towards the central square of the first district alone. Feiyang, Lu Qiuyu looked at Qin Feiyang anxiously. The emperor pulled Lu Qiuyu and shook his head, let him calm down by himself. Why is this child's life so hard? Lu Qiuyu's eyes were filled with tears. Since he was young, he had been plagued with disasters. It wasn't easy for him to get to where he was today, but God still didn't let him go. Sigh. Ling Yunfei, Zhao Tailai, Fire Lotus and the others, as well as the big black wolf and other beasts, looked at Qin Feiyang's back with a look of unbearable pain. They had just gotten married, and the bride was taken away. If it was any other man, they wouldn't be able to withstand such a blow. Not to mention Qin Feiyang. Over the years, there were many women who liked Qin Feiyang, but Qin Feiyang rejected them all. It could be seen how deep his feelings for the mermaid princess were. Moreover, Qin Feiyang had promised more than once that he would take good care of the mermaid princess in the future, protect her, and never let her get hurt or cry again, but now, he could only watch helplessly as his beloved was taken away by someone else. One could imagine how much pain and self-blame he was feeling at this moment. Central Square. The originally clean and decent wedding venue had been destroyed, and the ground was in a mess. Qin Feiyang landed on the square. Looking at everything around him, his heart felt like it was being stabbed by a knife. First bow to the world, second bow to the parents who raised you, third bow to the elders and relatives. Husband and wife bow to each other. For the rest of my life, I'll definitely take good care of you, protect you, and make sure that you'll never be sad or cry again. Marry me, I believe. No, I believe that I have the ability to take good care of you. In this life, I only have you in my heart. It will be the same in the next life. In the next life after that, I will still pester you. Images flashed across his mind one after another. Qin Feiyang clutched his chest, which was getting more and more painful. He slowly squatted on the ground, his face almost twisted in pain. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I even swore that I would take good care of you, but now, I'm really sorry, I'm useless, I can't even protect you, I hate it. Bastard, I will definitely kill you, Qin Feiyang knelt on the ground and roared into the sky. Sigh. Hearing Qin Feiyang's hysterical roar, Qin Batian and the rest couldn't help but sigh. Whoosh! A figure floated over. It was Fire Lotus. He landed beside Qin Feiyang. He wanted to comfort him, but he didn't know what to say, so he silently stood aside and accompanied Qin Feiyang. Time passed little by little. Under the emperor's orders, Qilin Zhu personally took care of the aftermath. Before the sky turned dark, the 8th district was repaired. The injuries of the people were also healed. The 9th district was also being rebuilt, but those who died could no longer come back. The entire imperial city was immersed in grief. At night. Autumn Rain Pavilion. The emperor returned to the pavilion with a tired face. Looking at everyone sitting in the hall, he asked, "Is Feiyang not back yet?" Lu Qiuyu nodded and sighed, "He's still at the square." "Then I'll go take a look." The emperor said. "Don't go. Fire Lotus has been accompanying him. You've been busy all day. Go take a bath and have a good rest." Lu Qiuyu said. "How can I be in the mood to rest now?" The emperor looked at Qin Batian angrily and said, "Great-grandfather, who are they? Why are they making trouble for no reason?" The others also turned to look at Qin Batian. Qin Batian said, "They are people at the 4th level of the divine rank. They are very strong, and according to my guess, they should be related to Ice Dragon." Ice Dragon. People and beasts like Zhao Tailai and White-Eyed Wolf, who knew about it, suddenly changed their faces when they heard this. But the Emperor Hong, and the others were suspicious. Qin Batian looked at the Emperor and the others and said, "You don't have to worry about these things. By the way, have you informed the Mermaid Emperor?" "Not yet." Lu Qiuyu shook her head. Qin Batian said, "As a father, he has the right to know." "Understood." Lu Qiuyu nodded and looked at the emperor. You send someone to inform him now. I'll go personally. After the emperor said that, he rushed to the Sea of Despair again. Emperor Hong looked at Qin Batian and asked, Father, is this 4th level very dangerous? I already said, don't worry about this, don't you understand? Qin Batian said angrily. Emperor Hong's neck suddenly shrank. Qin Batian's heart was more irritated than anyone else. First, it was the Mermaid Emperor, Black-Winged Emperor, White-Winged Emperor, Sword Emperor, and now it was the Mermaid Princess. This ice dragon was really going too far. The night was as dark as ink. Central Square. Many people had been standing outside the square. They were all citizens of Imperial City. They came spontaneously. Although they were densely packed, everyone was talking and had been silently accompanying Qin Feiyang. Because everyone knew that what Qin Feiyang needed now was not comfort, but silence. Don't disturb him. Huolian had not taken a single step away from him since the day had started and had not spoken a single word. Whoosh! Suddenly, accompanied by the sound of something breaking through the air, 2 figures rushed over like lightning. In-law, calm down. This was the emperor's voice, very anxious. My daughter has been taken away, how do you want me to calm down? Today, I must find a way to teach that bastard a lesson. This was the voice of the Mermaid Emperor. Hearing this news, the Mermaid Emperor was furious and immediately rushed to the imperial capital, heading straight for Qin Feiyang. The noise of the two also alarmed Fire Lotus and the people outside. Everyone looked up and couldn't bear to see it. Qin Feiyang was already in so much pain, yet he still came to denounce him. Wasn't that a bit too cruel? However, this was other people's family matter, so they couldn't interrupt. Fire Lotus didn't say anything and just watched quietly. Whoosh! Soon, the Mermaid Emperor landed on the square and aggressively walked towards Qin Feiyang, angrily saying, Bastard, what did you promise me? Is this how you take care of her? The Emperor was extremely anxious. Fire Lotus landed beside the Emperor and stopped him, shaking her head, Uncle, don't try to persuade him. With his current mood, the more you persuade him, the angrier he will be. But, the Emperor frowned. Fire Lotus said, Don't worry, Qin Dage is his son-in-law after all, he won't really do anything to him. The Emperor hesitated and sighed, I hope so. Immediately, the two of them stood to the side and watched silently. The Mermaid Emperor had already rushed in front of Qin Feiyang, angrily grabbed Qin Feiyang's clothes and lifted him up from the ground. However, when he saw Qin Feiyang's eyes at this moment, the Mermaid Emperor's gaze suddenly trembled slightly. Empty, lifeless, was this still the high-spirited young man from before? Now this child was like a dead person in front of him. Not only were his eyes empty, but his face was also pale and lifeless. Originally, he was full of anger, but looking at Qin Feiyang's current appearance, he couldn't help but feel a trace of pity in his heart. That's right. As a father, hearing that his daughter was taken away, his heart was very painful. But as a man, as a husband, watching his beloved wife be taken away, his heart must be more painful than anyone else. Sigh, the Mermaid Emperor sighed deeply, gently put down Qin Feiyang, and simply sat down beside Qin Feiyang. Looking at this scene, the Emperor and the people outside couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. A smile crept onto Huolian's face. This father-in-law was quite good. Child, don't blame yourself, this isn't your fault, they were too unreasonable. The Mermaid Emperor tried to squeeze out a smile and looked at Qin Feiyang. Uncle, Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked at the Mermaid Emperor. I don't want to say anything else, you have to remember, you are a man, if you have a problem, you have to solve it, not sit here and worry about it alone. The Mermaid Emperor said. Uncle, you really don't blame me? Qin Feiyang stared blankly at the Mermaid Emperor. What's the use of blaming you? If I blame you, will my daughter come back? It's useless. Besides, you are now half my son, why would I blame you? I believe that my daughter will not allow me to blame you. Cheer up, be a man, go and get your woman back. The Mermaid Emperor patted Qin Feiyang's shoulder heavily and smiled encouragingly. Qin Feiyang's body shook. He lowered his head and pondered for a while, then suddenly stood up, looked at the Mermaid Emperor, and said, I will, thank you for your forgiveness, uncle. Uncle? The Mermaid Emperor frowned. Qin Feiyang was stunned and quickly said, thank you, father, for your forgiveness. That's more like it. The Mermaid Emperor nodded in satisfaction. Qin Feiyang looked at the Emperor, and the Emperor also smiled encouragingly. Swish! Qin Feiyang took a step forward, and the decadent aura suddenly disappeared. Standing above the city, he shouted, gather. Fire Lotus was the first to walk to Qin Feiyang's side. Looking at Qin Feiyang, who finally cheered up, there was a trace of a smile on her beautiful face. It's the boss's voice. Let's go. Autumn rain in. Hearing Qin Feiyang's shout, everyone immediately flew to the first district. But a moment later, everyone arrived above the square. Feiyang, Lu Qiuyu looked at Qin Feiyang with tears of joy. Mother, I'm fine. Qin Feiyang smiled slightly, then looked at Zhao Tailai and the others, the white-eyed wolf, and the other beasts, and said, we don't know how dangerous the fourth floor is. This might be a one-way trip. Before you go, think about it carefully. What's there to think about? Wherever you go, we will follow. That's right. We are brothers and companions. We will share blessings and hardships together. The white-eyed wolf and the other beasts roared. Young master, don't say anything. As long as you say the word, I will even go to hell. Wang Ming smiled. Thank you. Qin Feiyang looked at everyone, and his heart couldn't help but ache. Then, he bowed to everyone. Chapter 2981. Thank you. If you say thank you again, I'll immediately turn around and leave. I won't bother with your business. The white-eyed wolf snorted coldly. Qin Feiyang smiled slightly. This was a typical example of a sharp tongue but a soft heart. Qin Feiyang then looked at the Emperor and the others. Lu Qiuyu walked forward, tidied up Qin Feiyang's clothes, and smiled, you don't have to say anything, we understand. Thank you, mother. Qin Feiyang lowered his head, suddenly knelt in the air, looked at all the elders and relatives in front of him, and said, everyone, take care. Finished. Qin Feiyang suddenly stood up, a cold light surging in his eyes, and shouted, let's go. At that moment, Qin Feiyang turned around and stepped into the air. He did not call anyone. Because he did not want to force anyone, whether they were willing or not, it was all up to them. Everyone, take care. Wang Ming and Yang Li looked at each other, cupped their hands and smiled at the Emperor and the others, and chased after Qin Feiyang. Fire Lotus smiled at the Emperor and the others, and also turned to leave. Let's go. The white-eyed wolf waved his claws. The five-clawed golden dragon, the golden leopard, the blood qilin, the three black leopard brothers, the big black wolf, Yu Huang, Willow Tree, Chui Li, Zhao Tailai and the others all followed. Everyone, take care. Dan Wangkai looked at everyone, especially his former companions, Wang Zicheng and the others, cupped his hands and smiled, and then left. Yes. Wang Zicheng and the others naturally had to come to Qin Feiyang's wedding. Unfortunately, a joyous occasion had turned out like this. Looking at Qin Feiyang's back, they couldn't help but sigh. Let's go too. Qin Badian looked at Lu Zhengyang and smiled. Lu Zhengyang nodded. Qin Badian looked at Emperor Hong and the others, and said, the future of Great Qin depends on you, protect the people here well. Yes. The group nodded. Lu Zhengyang also looked at second grandpa and the others and said, all of you too. Do your best to assist the Qin clan and protect the people of Great Qin. Yes. Everyone nodded in agreement. Let's go. Following Qin Baishan's order, the group of people left in a grandiose manner. Among them were Tan Tai Li, Qin Rushuang, and 54 divine generals. Brother Mu, let's go. Dong Zhengyang looked at Mu Tianyang and smiled. What are we going to do? Mu Tianyang frowned. Do you remember what I once said? Our fated battle isn't over yet. Our true battle is on the 4th level. You and Mu Qing are indispensable. Dong Zhengyang said. Not interested. Mu Tianyang shook his head. That's all I have to say. Do as you see fit. Dong Zhengyang smiled faintly and looked at Bai Long. Take good care of yourself. Bai Long reminded him, you too. Yes. Dong Zhengyang nodded and turned to leave without looking back. Ancestor, Mu Qing looked at Mu Tianyang. Mu Tianyang raised his head and looked at the backs of Qin Feiyang and the others. Then, he looked at the people below and sighed. We can't let them look down on the Mu clan. Fine, let's go to the 4th level. Yes. Mu Qing nodded. Swoosh. The two of them took a step forward and disappeared into the horizon. It's time for us to go. Yi Zhong smiled faintly. Yes. Yi Shui, Yi Cheng, and old Master Yi nodded. The Emperor hurriedly said, 4 of you, I thought you weren't going to the 4th level? We're not going, but there are still many things that we need to deal with in the ancient realm. Thank you for your warm hospitality these past few days. If you have the chance, you must come to the ancient realm. Let this old man play host. Yi Zhong smiled. All right then. The Emperor nodded. Goodbye. Yi Zhong cupped his hands and smiled. Then, he turned around and left with Yi Cheng and the other two. They're all gone. The Emperor reached out and hugged Lu Qiuyu's shoulder. Lu Qiuyu leaned into the Emperor's embrace. We can't do anything. We can only hope that they're safe. Second Grandpa sighed. Yes. Everyone nodded. This reunion was too short. Before they could recover from the joy, it was time to part. Child, we'll always wait for you at home. You must come back alive, Lu Qiuyu murmured. This was not only the Emperor and his wife's wish, but also the wish of everyone present. And it was their only wish. Demonic Dragon Island. After bidding farewell to Uncle Yuan, Qin Feiyang and the others directly opened the altar and descended to the 2nd level of the miracle. Where's Brother Hua? Qin Feiyang scanned the surroundings but did not see Hua Python's figure. Yi Zhong said, he should be on the 3rd level. Qin Feiyang glanced at the teleportation altar. Then, he looked at Yi Zhong and said, then, Master, let's part ways here. The 4th level is not like the ancient world. Be careful. Yi Zhong reminded. I will. Qin Feiyang nodded. Yi Zhong asked, also, who is the most suitable candidate that you mentioned previously? Yes. Now, you have to tell your master. After he returns, he can help this person. Qin Batian said. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, far away on the horizon, but close in front of you. Everyone was stunned. Far away on the horizon, but close in front of you. Immediately after, everyone couldn't help but look at Yi Zhong, Yi Cheng, Yi Shui, and Old Master Yi. This was because only their family had returned to the ancient world. The others had to go to the 4th level. Why are you looking at me? It can't be me. Yi Cheng was speechless. Then it can't be me. Old Master Yi smiled. Then it's even more impossible for me. Yi Shui shook her head. As the three of them finished speaking, everyone's gazes fell on Yi Zhong in unison. Yi Zhong looked at everyone and then at Qin Feiyang's gaze. He suddenly understood and smiled bitterly. You brat, you even schemed against your master. This is not called scheming. You are the most suitable candidate. In the future, the Dragon Slayer Palace and the ancient world will depend on you. Qin Feiyang said. Do I have a choice now? Yi Zhong shook his head and smiled. Alright, don't worry and go to the 4th level. Don't worry about the ancient world. Thank you, master. Take care. Qin Feiyang bowed. You too. You must come back safely. Yi Zhong said. I will. Qin Feiyang nodded and turned to look at everyone. He raised his eyebrows and looked at Qin Chen. To be precise, he looked behind Qin Chen. He saw a young man sneakily hiding behind Qin Chen. Wang Xiaojie. Qin Feiyang went forward and pulled the young man out. Who else could it be other than Wang Xiaojie? Master. Wang Xiaojie smiled embarrassedly. Why did you follow me? Qin Feiyang frowned. Wang Xiaojie stammered. Qin Feiyang said, if you come here like this, who will take care of your sister and mother in the future? Don't worry about this. Yan Wei has already promised me to take good care of them. Wang Xiaojie hurriedly said. You've planned this from the start. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. Wang Xiaojie laughed dryly. Yi Zhong smiled and said, it's good for young people to have this drive, so don't destroy his fighting spirit. Thank you, Grandmaster. Wang Xiaojie hurriedly said gratefully. Qin Feiyang glared at Wang Xiaojie and nodded, all right, but remember, the 4th level is not the Forgotten Continent or Great Qin. Be careful, I don't want to bring your corpse back to see your sister and mother. Yes. Wang Xiaojie nodded. Qin Feiyang looked at Yi Zhong and said, then, Master, we'll leave first. When I find the fire python, I'll get it to send you back to the ancient world. Go. Yi Zhong waved his hand. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and sent everyone to the Black Tortoise realm, leaving only Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang outside. Following that, the three of them walked up the revival altar and then slowly disappeared from the sight of Yi Zhong and the others. Yi Shui retracted her gaze and looked at Yi Zhong. Grandpa, you actually want to go to the 4th level too, right? I do want to go. However, the ancient world needs this old man more. Perhaps one day, when the ancient world stabilizes and I find a suitable successor, this old man might go to the 4th level to take a look. Yi Zhong laughed. Then what do you think of my aptitude? Can I become your successor? Yi Shui giggled. You? Yi Zhong looked at Yi Shui with a meaningful gaze. What kind of look is that? Are you looking down on me? Yi Shui was dissatisfied. Yi Zhong laughed loudly, and said, if you want to be this old man's successor, then you have to work hard. 3rd level. Outside the temple. Qin Feiyang and the other two stood in the air and scanned their surroundings, but they still did not find any traces of the fire python. Where did he go? Qin Feiyang frowned. Don't worry. The 3rd level of the Divine Ruins is under its control. It must have already known that we came in. Perhaps it was delayed by something. Let's wait and see. Qin Batian said. Qin Feiyang said, I'm just worried that those two will make a comeback. Lu Zhengyang sneered, wouldn't it be better if they really make a comeback? Qin Feiyang was stunned and looked at Lu Zhengyang suspiciously. In the Great Qin, we can't make a move because of the people of Great Qin. But in the Divine Ruins, we can have no worries. Lu Zhengyang said. Qin Batian said, that may be the case, but there are rules and restrictions in the Nether King's Hell. We are no match for them. Don't we have the fire python to help us? Lu Zhengyang said. Qin Feiyang and Qin Batian looked at each other, and killing intent flashed in their eyes. If the two of them really made a comeback, then they could really go all out and have a fight here. Because as the guardian of the Nether King's Hell, the fire python could not only change the rules here, but also transfer all the creatures of the Nether King's Hell, such as the blood demons, to the first and second levels. This way, they wouldn't have to worry about hurting innocent creatures. Ancestors, how do you think those two interfered with the power of rules? Qin Feiyang frowned. The more he thought about it, the more incredulous it was. One had to know. Back in the ancient world, the Heaven's Prison was also formed by the power of rules. Back then, when the Ice Dragon's sacred sword fought with the ancient castle, it couldn't tear the Heaven's Prison apart. This meant that even a sovereign divine weapon couldn't shake the power of rules of a world. But these two, one was at the initial stage of the imperishable realm, and the other was a half-step sovereign. How could they interfere with the power of rules in the divine ruins? Qin Batian pondered for a while and shook his head. I'm afraid only they know the mystery. Actually, I suspect that the person behind this might be the Ice Dragon. Lu Zhengyang said. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang and Qin Batian looked at Lu Zhengyang in surprise. Chapter 2982. Think about it, Ice Dragon has only entered the 4th level for slightly more than a year. For cultivators like us, a year's time is nothing more than a blink of an eye. He went to the 4th level and someone came from the 4th level. And he knows so much about us. Is this a coincidence? Lu Zhengyang said in a low voice. Qin Feiyang and Qin Batian nodded. Indeed, it didn't seem like a coincidence. So, I think he's the one behind all this. In this case, the fact that the two of them can interfere with the power of the rules might be related to Ice Dragon. After all, Ice Dragon can ignore the power of the rules everywhere. And he can control the power of the rules. Lu Zhengyang said. Then why did he make it so complicated? The Mermaid Emperor and the other three have been taken away by him. It's only a matter of time before we go to the 4th level. Now that he's here to kidnap this girl, isn't it superfluous? Qin Batian frowned. That's why I said that it might be related to him, but there might also be other factors. In short, we can only wait until we enter the 4th level to investigate before we know the real reason. Lu Zhengyang said. Or maybe he feels that the Mermaid Emperor and the other three aren't enough. Qin Feiyang speculated. I really can't figure it out. Let's wait until we enter the 4th level. Qin Batian shook his head and sighed. Qin Feiyang nodded and then looked in the direction of the ancient city of Qingyu, saying, I wonder how senior brother Frenzy is doing now. He should be fine. Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang mumbled. Whoosh! At this moment, a beast shadow descended in the void in front of them. Brother Fire. Qin Feiyang hurried to welcome it. Sorry to keep you guys waiting for so long. The fire python looked at the three of them apologetically. It's fine. But what exactly are you busy with? Qin Feiyang was puzzled. It's all because of Frenzy. The fire python shook its head. Senior brother madman? Qin Feiyang was slightly stunned and hurriedly asked, what's wrong with him? Did something happen to him? The fire python said, didn't you notice the abnormality of the evil moon? Evil moon? Qin Feiyang looked up at the evil moon in the sky. It was night time, and the evil moon was hanging at the top of the sky. However, after repeated checking, he did not find anything unusual. The fire python said worriedly, the evil moon is slowly shrinking. Shrink? Qin Feiyang looked at the evil moon again, but he didn't see any signs of it shrinking. This kind of shrinking trace is not very obvious. You may not be able to see it, but I can clearly feel it. The fire python said. You mean, the shrinking of the evil moon has something to do with senior brother crazy? Qin Feiyang asked. Of course. He is now inside the evil moon. The fire python nodded. Inside? Qin Feiyang looked at the evil moon again and pondered in his heart. Is this guy really the reincarnation of a big shot of the blood demon race? The fire python suddenly said, Qin Feiyang, there is something I want to tell you. What is it? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Since I became the guardian of the third floor, I have carefully investigated the history of the third floor. Do you know what I found out? The fire python said. What did you find out? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. The fire python said, I found that the former Nether King Hell had no restrictions. No restrictions? The fire python was stunned. Yes. In other words, there is no restriction on the cultivation realm. Whether it is the blood demon race here or other beasts, they can all step into the imperishable realm. And according to my investigation, I found something terrible. The fire python said. What terrible thing? Qin Feiyang was surprised. The blood demon race once had a sovereign realm powerhouse. As for how strong he was, I don't know. This person can fight with Lord Ice Dragon. The fire python said. What? Qin Feiyang was shocked. The fire python asked, do you know who this person is? Who? Qin Feiyang asked. The ancestor of the blood demon race. The fire python said word by word. The ancestor of the blood demon race. Qin Feiyang's eyes were full of shock. To be able to fight with Ice Dragon, how strong must he be? The fire python said again, there is one more thing. You know about the blood demon tower, right? Of course I know. Qin Feiyang nodded. According to my investigation, this blood demon tower is not a heaven-defying artifact, but an extremely terrifying sovereign realm divine weapon. The fire python said. What? The blood demon tower is a sovereign realm divine weapon? Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. That's not right. We have seen the blood demon tower. It is not at the level of a sovereign realm divine weapon. Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang also spoke. That's because the blood demon tower is only a part of this sovereign realm divine weapon. There are still two parts that have not merged. Once merged, it will have the ability to destroy heaven and earth. The fire python said. This, Qin Feiyang and the other two looked at each other. Lunatic said earlier that the blood demon tower was originally in the hands of the old patriarch of the blood demon race, right? The fire python asked. Yes. At that time in Fallen Valley, Qin Feiyang recounted what happened in Fallen Valley in detail. As expected. The fire python pondered for a while, looked at Qin Feiyang, and said, I have a bold guess. What guess? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. The fire python said, Lunatic is very likely the reincarnation of the ancestor of the blood demon race. The reincarnation of the ancestor. Qin Feiyang and the other two looked at each other. Otherwise, how do you explain his evil power and the fact that the blood demon tower abandoned the old patriarch without hesitation and followed him? More importantly, he can still get close to the moon of evil and touch the blood bead. So, I have this bold guess. Even if he is not the reincarnation of the ancestor of the blood demon race, he must be related to the ancestor. Because you also know that the real owner of the blood demon tower was the ancestor of the blood demon race. Lunatic said. I know this. Qin Feiyang nodded, pondered for a while, and asked, then, did you tell senior brother Lunatic about this? Yes. The fire python nodded. Then what was his reaction? Qin Feiyang asked. With his personality, what reaction can he have? However, I can see that he really wants to find out, so during this period of time, he has been staying in the moon of evil. You also know that every time he touches the blood bead in the moon of evil, an image will appear in his mind. What does he want to find from this image? But I heard from him that no matter what, he can't see it clearly. It is because of this that a large amount of evil power was absorbed by him, and the moon of evil showed signs of shrinking. You know the importance of the evil power to the blood demon race. If they lose the evil power, the blood demon race won't be able to survive here. Not only the blood demon race, but also the other creatures of hell. So I am worried. If he really absorbs all the evil power, what will happen to the blood demon race in the future? The fire python shook its head and sighed. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and said, "How about this? Take me there, I will persuade him." That would be for the best. The fire python was overjoyed. By the way, Feiyang, didn't you say that there is a person called Xueda? Can you let us meet him? Qin Batian suddenly spoke. Back then in the forest of gods and devils, Xueda had saved their lives. For them, it was a great kindness. Now that there was a chance, they naturally had to visit him personally. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while, looked at the fire python and said, "Brother Hua, then I will leave this matter to you. Send my 2 ancestors to the ancient city of Qingyu." "All right." The fire python nodded. With a thought, Qin Batian and Xueda disappeared. Immediately after, the fire python also brought Qin Feiyang and instantly landed in front of the moon of evil. Suddenly, a terrifying evil force surged toward them. The fire python mobilized the rule force and protected Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang shouted, "Senior brother madman, I have something to say, come out quickly." "What?" A moment later, Madman walked out with an annoyed look. Qin Feiyang frowned, "Are you trying to destroy the moon of evil?" "I really want to destroy it, but unfortunately, I don't have the ability." Madman snorted coldly. Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled bitterly, "I know you really want to figure out your background, but this matter can't be forced. Let's just let nature take its course." "You make it sound nice." Didn't Qin Batian also run around to investigate his background? Madman pursed his lips. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice, "All right, I need your help." "What help?" Madman frowned. Qin Feiyang looked at the fire python and asked, "You didn't tell him?" "Not yet." The fire python shook its head. Looking at Qin Feiyang's pained face, Madman raised his eyebrows and said, "What is it?" Just this morning, Qin Feiyang briefly explained the matter of the old man and the young man. "What?" Madman's expression changed. "So now, I am going to the 4th floor. I really need your help." Qin Feiyang looked at Madman pleadingly. "Damn it, how dare they bully this daddy's little brother. Let's go, this daddy will accompany you to the 4th floor and let them know that people from the lower realm aren't to be trifled with." Madman said angrily. "Thank you, senior brother Madman." Qin Feiyang smiled gratefully. "Can't help it, this daddy has a troublesome little brother like you." Madman shook his head. "Little brother?" Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly. "Qin Feiyang, there's one more thing that I think I need to tell you." The fire python suddenly spoke again. "What is it?" Qin Feiyang was puzzled. "Do you know them?" The fire python condensed 3 phantoms. 2 of them were 2 young men, and the last one was a gray castle. Qin Feiyang and Madman looked at each other. Wasn't this Li Feng and the mysterious young man, as well as the gray castle that disappeared? Qin Feiyang pointed at the gray castle and asked, "Brother Fire, where did you see it?" The fire python said, "A few years ago in the Nether King's Hell." "It also came to the Nether King's Hell?" Qin Feiyang and Madman looked at each other. The fire python asked, "So, you all know them?" "Yes. I know them all, and they are all related to me. Qin Feiyang nodded. The fire python said, they also went to the 4th floor. What? Qin Feiyang was shocked. Chapter 2983. They all went to the 4th floor? Frenzy asked in disbelief. Yes. Fire python nodded. Did they go together? Frenzy frowned. Not really. That young man went to the 4th floor first. Half a year later, it was that gray castle. Another 2 months passed and that young man called Li Feng only entered the 4th floor. I don't think they know each other. Fire Python said. It's really strange. How did they know there's a 4th floor? Frenzy frowned. Let's not talk about that young man first. He's very mysterious. As for Li Feng and the Grey Castle. Li Feng has always been with Ancestor Shue's soul. Ancestor Shui and the Grey Castle are from the previous era. Since they know about the existence of the miracle, it's impossible for them to do anything strange. I even suspect that the Grey Castle's goal is to enter the 4th floor. But why did they enter the 4th floor? Qin Feiyang's face was also full of doubts. It seems that even if we go to the 4th floor, we won't be too bored. Frenzy chuckled. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded and then looked at Fire Python. Apart from them, are there any other strangers in the Nether King's Hell? Other strangers? Fire Python was stunned. Especially strong ones. Qin Feiyang said. Nope. Fire Python shook his head and asked doubtfully, why do you ask? Back then, when my ancestors entered the 3rd floor, they met a mysterious white-haired young man. Not only did this person give my ancestors an elixir to recover their cultivation, but he also sent them directly from the 3rd floor to the ancient world. Qin Feiyang said. That's impossible. There are rules and restrictions in the miracle. Apart from me, Lord Ice Dragon, and Lord Beast God, no one has this ability. Fire Python shook his head. Therefore, my guess is that he might be the real owner of the miracle, the creation god. Qin Feiyang said. That's even more impossible. Why would an existence like the creation god come to save someone completely unrelated to him? Fire Python shook his head. Forget it then. We'll talk about it when we have the chance to meet him in the future. Let's go to the ancient city now. Qin Feiyang said. The Fire Python nodded and brought the two of them to the sky above the ancient city of Qingyu. At this moment, the sky above the ancient city was already bustling with activity. The Ghost King and the 10 commanders were all present. Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang were standing opposite them. They were talking and laughing, and it seemed like they were having a good time. With the appearance of Qin Feiyang and Lunatic, King Yu and the 10 commanders immediately looked toward the two of them. Senior Ghost King, long time no see. How have you been? Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and smiled. Haha, King Yu laughed heartily and said, not seeing for many years, Brother Qin's strength is already unfathomable. No matter how strong he is, he won't be a match for Senior in the Infernal King's Hell. Qin Feiyang waved his hand. The Ghost King said, let's go. Let's go down and chat. This, Qin Feiyang hesitated for a moment before shaking his head. Let's wait for the next time. I have to go to the 4th floor as soon as possible. What's the rush? The Ghost King was stunned. I have some personal matters to attend to. I have to go as soon as possible. Qin Feiyang nodded. Then, all right. Since Brother Qin has something urgent to attend to, I won't force you to stay. However, when you come back next time, you must come to the ancient city. The Ghost King said. Okay. Qin Feiyang nodded and looked at Qin Batian and Lunatic. Have you explained everything clearly? Yes. The two of them nodded. Shweta laughed and said, speaking of this, it's really fate. Back then, I did notice them, but I didn't pay much attention to them. I didn't expect them to be your ancestors. Yes. When I heard my ancestors talk about it, I was also filled with emotions. This means that the relationship between the Qin clan and the Blood Demon tribe is destined. Qin Feiyang said. Shweta said, then let us cherish this fate. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded and cupped his hands. I'm really sorry. The next time I come back, I'll definitely drink with everyone. It's okay. The Ghost King and the 10 commanders waved their hands. Qin Feiyang turned to look at the fire python and said with a smile, Brother Hua, let's go. The fire python immediately led Qin Feiyang and the others and disappeared without a trace. Shweta laughed and said, Lord Ghost King, I have to say that our decision back then was really wise. Yes. If we were enemies with him back then, I'm afraid that the Blood Demon tribe would have already disappeared from this land, let alone being taken care of by the Guardians. The Ghost King nodded. Humph. However, at this moment, accompanied by a cold snort, the old patriarch landed in front of everyone, his eyes flashing coldly. Father, have you not given up? The Ghost King sighed. So what if I haven't given up? Even the Guardians are their friends. What else can I do to them? I only hate myself for being useless. The old patriarch roared. When the Ghost King heard this, not only was he not angry, but he also heaved a sigh of relief. Because this meant that his father had actually given up and was just a little indignant. Little lunatic, do your best. The Ghost King looked at the void in front of him and muttered. In the east, towering mountains that were tens of thousands of feet tall stood there. Ferocious beasts were densely packed in the mountains. One of the tallest mountains was tens of thousands of feet tall. It was like a giant sword that towered into the sky. The peak of the mountain was very flat, as if it had been flattened by an axe. And right in the middle of the mountain peak, there was a black light door suspended in the air. This door was oval in shape and looked more like a space crack. It was pitch black inside. Swoosh! Several figures descended on the mountain peak. It was the fire python, Qin Feiyang, and the other 3. The fire python pointed at the light door and said, This is the entrance to the 4th level. Qin Feiyang and the other 3 looked up. Qin Baishan's pupils constricted and he said, This is not a teleportation door. It's a space-time teleportation channel. Space-time teleportation channel? That's the space-time law? Qin Feiyang asked. Yes. Qin Batian nodded and looked at the fire python. Has this space-time teleportation channel always existed? I didn't know before, but ever since I became the guardian of the 3rd level, this channel has always existed. The fire python said. To be able to fix the space-time teleportation channel here, his cultivation must be quite impressive. And his comprehension of the space-time law has also reached the peak. There was a trace of envy in Qin Baishan's eyes. He also grasped the space-time law, but compared to the person who set up this space-time teleportation channel, he was thousands of miles away. Qin Feiyang said, with your comprehension, it's only a matter of time. I hope so. Qin Batian smiled slightly. The fire python said, then I'll send you here. You guys have to be careful from now on. Thank you. Qin Feiyang bowed. Frenzy, Qin Batian, and Lu Zhengyang also bowed to the fire python. Because the fire python had taken care of them all these years, it was worthy of their respect. Go. If you encounter the fire dragon, you must kill it. And that old man and young man, when you kill them, take my share too. The fire python said. Don't worry. Qin Feiyang nodded and then said, by the way, Brother Fire, can the restrictions of the blood demon race be removed? The fire python was stunned and asked suspiciously, you mean to remove the restrictions on their cultivation? Qin Feiyang nodded. I can do it now. But I don't dare to, because you also know that the ones who restrict the cultivation of the blood demon race are the big shots above. If I make the decision on my own and help them remove the restrictions, then I don't need to say what will happen to me. The fire python smiled apologetically. It's okay. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, there's one more thing. My master is now on the second floor. I'll have to trouble you to send him back to the ancient world. The fire python nodded. Qin Feiyang smiled slightly, then took a deep breath and turned to look at the space-time teleportation channel. Let's go. As his voice fell, the four of them stepped into the channel at the same time. My brother, you must come back alive. The fire python muttered and then disappeared without a trace. Chapter 2984. A black area of nothingness seemed to be boundless. This was the spacetime teleportation channel. Inside, a storm swept in all directions, emitting a world-destroying aura. Qin Feiyang's group of four shuttled through the storm. This is the storm that the fire python mentioned? Looking at the storm around them, Qin Feiyang's expression was extremely solemn. It told you before? Madman was suspicious. It told me when we came back from Great Qin. The storm here can kill all creatures below the imperishable realm. But now that I've seen it with my own eyes, it's even more terrifying than what it said. Even a half-step imperishable realm expert might lose their life if they're not careful. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice. Madman nodded. This storm did give him a fatal threat. However, with the protection of two peak imperishable realm experts, Lu Zhengyang and Qin Batian, there was nothing to worry about. And here, instead of calling it a teleportation channel, it was better to call it a void space. Because this place was too big, they couldn't see the end of it. A space-time teleportation channel can actually create such a large space. This person's spacetime laws have really reached the peak. Qin Batian exclaimed. Madman asked curiously, is it difficult to create such a space? Of course it's difficult. Creating space is already the highest profound of spacetime laws. I don't even dare to think about it now. And the space here is quite stable. Without reaching the peak, it's impossible to do this. Qin Batian said. With that, he waved his hand, and a surge of divine power surged out, blasting toward the void on the left. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, the space here didn't have any traces of distortion. This, Qin Feiyang and Madman looked at each other. Even a perfect imperishable stage powerhouse was unable to cause this space to tremble a bit. Time passed breath by breath. Boom! Crack! Suddenly, in the void on the right, there was a loud bang. What's going on? Qin Feiyang's group of four were surprised. It sounded like the sound of a battle, but why were there people fighting here? Go and take a look. Madman asked. All right. Qin Feiyang nodded. Inside the spacetime transmission channel, there were actually battle fluctuations. No matter how one looked at it, it was a little strange. Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang looked at each other. Their faces were also full of curiosity. Then, they turned around in the air and brought Qin Feiyang and Lu Zhengyang through the storm, rushing toward the place where the sound came from. About 10 breaths later, the fluctuations became clearer and clearer. Qin Feiyang and the other three finally dared to conclude that those were the fluctuations of a battle. Were there really people fighting here? Then who could it be? A creature from hell? Or was it someone from the fourth floor? However, none of the creatures of the Nether King's hell had reached the imperishable realm, so they probably weren't creatures of the Nether King's hell. Based on this analysis, there was a 90% chance that it was someone from the fourth level. A while later, Qin Batian, Qin Feiyang, and Lu Zhengyang's eyes suddenly trembled. What is it? Frenzy was suspicious. This aura, Qin Feiyang murmured. Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang were also full of surprise. What's wrong with this aura? Frenzy frowned. Qin Feiyang suddenly roared, that's right, this is Old Hai's aura. Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang also immediately sped up, killing intent flashing in their eyes. Old Hai? Frenzy became more and more suspicious. Lu Zhengyang said in a deep voice, this Old Hai was one of the people who came to the Great Qin in the morning and kidnapped you, I see. Frenzy nodded in realization. No wonder Qin Feiyang was so angry. One had to know. This was the hatred of stealing one's wife. They couldn't live under the same sky. That's not right. They left in the morning, and it's already night time. Why are they still in the space-time transmission channel? Frenzy was surprised. I don't know. I don't care about this either. Qin Feiyang shook his head, staring at the void in front of him, his eyes filled with killing intent. Another few dozen breaths passed. The battle fluctuations were so terrifying that even Qin Feiyang's group of 4 couldn't get close. What should we do? Qin Batian asked. What's so great about a half-step ruler? Now, even heaven-defying divine artifacts like the Sunset Divine Bow can kill them. Qin Feiyang snorted coldly. That's right, there's nothing here. We can fight without any worries. Frenzy nodded. Clang. The Sunset Divine Bow, Sky-breaking halberd, Shield of thick earth, and 7-star staff appeared. The Sunset Divine Bow and other heaven-defying divine artifacts were the first to follow Qin Feiyang, and they were also the first to enter the land of origin. Their current strength was almost at the level of a low-stage ruler. Boom! The 4 heaven-defying divine artifacts awakened and respectively protected Qin Feiyang's group of 4. The 4 of them continued forward. The 4 heaven-defying divine artifacts could also sense the killing intent in Qin Feiyang's heart, so they were also prepared to fight. Finally, 2 figures entered the 4's line of sight. One of them was wearing a white robe and holding a horsetail whisk. Who else could it be but Old Hai? But at this moment, Old Hai's body was covered in injuries. You can actually injure him? Qin Feiyang's group of 4 found it unbelievable and immediately looked at the person who was fighting with Old Hai. It was also an old man. But the difference was, this old man was slightly shorter, only about 1.5 meters tall. However, although he was only 1.5 meters tall, he was not as thin as Old Hai, and his body was extremely strong. His upper body was exposed, and the bulging muscles were filled with explosive power. His red hair was also like flames, and he was also wearing a fiery red robe. His face was glowing, and his spirit was hale and hearty. But this old man also had many injuries on his body, and their strength seemed to be equally matched. Boom! Woo-woo! Old Hai's body was surrounded by a spacetime storm, which was formed by the spacetime law. The red-haired old man's body was also filled with the power of law, competing with Old Hai's spacetime law. This seems to be, Qin Batian looked at the power of law around the red-haired old man in surprise and murmured, Time law. This is the time law. And this person's time law has also reached the great perfection realm. Lu Zhengyang nodded. Who the hell are these people? They're all so abnormal. Frenzy was shocked. Who cares who they are? Qin Feiyang scanned the surroundings, looking for the figure of the purple-robed young man, but he couldn't find him anywhere. Where is he? Qin Feiyang frowned. At this time, Old Hai and the red-haired old man also noticed Qin Feiyang's group of 4. The two couldn't help but stop and look at Qin Feiyang's group of 4. Old Hai's expression suddenly froze. The red-haired old man couldn't help but have a trace of suspicion between his brows. You know them? Suddenly. The red-haired old man looked at Old Hai and asked. That's right. Do you see that young man in white? He's Qin Feiyang. Old Hai said. It's him. The red-haired old man looked at Qin Feiyang with a look of surprise in his eyes. You don't even know what Qin Feiyang looks like, and you're here to stop this old man? Old Hai sneered. The red-haired old man coldly snorted, and the time law rolled out and blasted towards Old Hai. He shouted, Qin Feiyang, the person you want to find is in this old man's space god object. Qin Feiyang immediately looked at Old Hai. Since the purple-robed young man was in his space god object, then the mermaid princess must be there too. Clang! He grabbed the sunset divine bow, and the sunset divine bow suddenly burst out with divine light. Swoosh! The next moment, a golden arrow shot towards Old Hai, carrying with it an aura that could destroy the heavens and earth. Old Hai didn't care at all. A mere heaven-defying divine weapon wanted to hurt him? What a pipe dream. But the next moment, his eyes trembled, and he turned to look at the sunset divine bow in surprise. The red-haired old man was also shocked. How could this heaven-defying divine weapon be so powerful? It had surpassed the limit of a heaven-defying divine weapon. Clang! Old Hai waved his hand, and a terrifying space-time law suddenly appeared and blasted towards the red-haired old man's time law. At the same time, he waved the horsetail whisk in his hand, and a monstrous divine power appeared and blasted towards the arrow. Crack! A sovereign divine weapon was indeed extraordinary. Although the sunset divine bow was now so powerful, it couldn't compete with a sovereign divine weapon. The arrow instantly shattered. Whoosh! Following closely, the monstrous divine power blasted towards Qin Feiyang and the other three. At the same time, the two powers of law also collided, and it was still a tie. Not good. But looking at the divine power rushing towards Qin Feiyang and the other three, the red-haired old man's face changed. He was about to rescue them, but he found that Qin Feiyang's expression didn't change. The red-haired old man couldn't help but have a trace of suspicion in his eyes. Seeing that the divine power was about to arrive, accompanied by a loud clang, the ancient castle appeared. The red-haired old man was shocked. It was actually a sovereign divine weapon. How could a mere person from the lower realm have a sovereign divine weapon? Moreover, he keenly discovered that this ancient castle seemed to be somewhat different from the other sovereign divine weapons. Boom! As soon as the ancient castle appeared, it woke up on its own, and divine power surged out. The two divine powers collided with a loud bang, and a destructive wave of air instantly erupted. The ancient castle immediately shone down with divine light, protecting Qin Feiyang and the other three as well as the sunset divine bow and the other four heaven-defying divine weapons. Madman said, "It seems that if we want to kill him, the ancient castle will have to take action. You guys go to the Black Tortoise world first." Qin Feiyang waved his hand and sent the three of them and the four heaven-defying divine weapons to the Black Tortoise world. Then, he took a step forward and charged towards Old Hai with the ancient castle. He said, "I didn't expect to meet you so soon. Now, can you still threaten me with the people of Great Qin?" Humph! Old Hai coldly snorted. The law of space and time emerged, and a black hole appeared around Qin Feiyang. Not bad. It wasn't just one black hole, but dozens, hundreds. One had to know. Back then, Long Zun could only evolve one black hole. But this Old Hai could evolve it as he pleased. One could imagine. How terrifying was this person's attainments in the law of space and time. Chapter 2985. Numerous spacetime black holes emitted a terrifying aura as they tore Qin Feiyang apart. It was as if they wanted to tear him apart and destroy his soul. However, under the protection of the ancient castle, Qin Feiyang was not injured at all. Clang! On the contrary. The ancient castle released a monstrous aura that shattered the spacetime black holes one by one. It really is a sovereign weapon, the red-haired old man murmured. The more he thought about it, the more incredulous he felt. Even on the 4th level, sovereign weapons were very rare. However, a young man from the lower world actually had a sovereign weapon. It was unbelievable. What you did to us in the morning, I will make you pay back double. Qin Feiyang's eyes were cold. When he thought of the tears that the mermaid princess had shed before she left and the deaths of the people of the 9th district, his heart felt like it was being stabbed by a knife. An ant wants to overturn the heavens? Old Hai sneered coldly. His third profound ability, the spacetime storm, appeared. Not just one, but hundreds of spacetime storms crazily roared toward Qin Feiyang. Clang! The ancient castle shook violently as a destructive aura erupted. The spacetime storms immediately disintegrated. Is that all you've got? Qin Feiyang shouted coldly. The ancient castle suddenly expanded like a mountain and suppressed Old Hai. You think you're invincible after playing with you for a while? Old Hai's eyes flashed coldly. The horsetail whisk suddenly flew out of his hand, and rays of dazzling divine light erupted. Boom! The two sovereign divine weapons clashed, and the void instantly dimmed. A terrifying and destructive wave of air gushed out in all directions like an avalanche. Qin Feiyang was not in danger under the protection of the ancient castle, but his eyes were a little serious. This person also had a sovereign weapon and was much stronger than him. It would not be easy to kill this person. As for the red-haired old man, he began to stand aside and watch. Qin Feiyang glanced at the red-haired old man and said, "Ancient castle, please change the battlefield." Clang! The ancient castle shook violently, and time instantly stopped. That's right. This was the ancient castle's law, time stop. In an instant. Whether it was the horsetail whisk, Old Hai, or the red-haired old man, they were all frozen in the void. It was also at this moment that the ancient castle charged into the distant void with the horsetail whisk. So what if he's a half-step sovereign? Qin Feiyang made a prompt decision and summoned the Sunset Divine Bow and the other 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts. That's right. The 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts had all appeared. From this, it could be seen that his killing intent towards Old Hai did not leave any leeway. Kill him for me. Qin Feiyang roared. The 10 heaven-defying godly weapons were instantly awakened and charged toward Old Hai. This, following the departure of the ancient castle, the time stop also disappeared. The red-haired old man looked at this scene with a slightly stunned expression. These 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts had actually surpassed the limit of heaven-defying divine artifacts. What was going on? Old Hai's face sank slightly. It seemed that he had underestimated this young man's strength. Clang! Rumble! In the blink of an eye. The 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts arrived in an instant. At this critical moment, a majestic power of the laws of space and time emerged from Old Hai's body, forming a barrier that sealed off the surroundings. Boom! The 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts attacked, accompanied by a series of loud bangs, but the barrier formed by the laws of space and time was actually intact. This, Qin Feiyang was dumbstruck. What was going on? The red-haired old man said, "This is the fourth profound ability of the laws of space and time, the space-time domain, indestructible." The space-time domain, Qin Feiyang muttered and frowned. But he's only a half-step sovereign in the end, while the 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts in my hands are already at the level of a low-stage sovereign. Do you really think his cultivation is only at the half-step sovereign level? The red-haired old man said. Qin Feiyang was surprised. Huh, Old Hai laughed and looked at Qin Feiyang, mocking, how can an ant like you see through this old man's true cultivation? True cultivation, Qin Feiyang's heart trembled. You think you can defeat this old man by letting the ancient castle take away my sovereign divine artifacts, but you don't know that by doing so, you're hastening your death. Because if the ancient castle is still here, this old man really can't kill you. Boom! As Old Hai's voice fell, an even more terrifying aura suddenly erupted. Qin Feiyang didn't know how strong it was, because he knew almost nothing about the Sovereign Realm experts. But he could clearly feel that the Sunset Divine Bow and the other heaven-defying divine artifact spirits were trembling in fear at this moment. What an ignorant ant! Old Hai shook his head and mocked, and space-time black holes once again appeared around Qin Feiyang. The terrifying tearing force instantly drowned Qin Feiyang and the 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts. Qin Feiyang, we can't hold on. The 10 heaven-defying divine artifacts protected Qin Feiyang, but cracks began to appear on their bodies. The situation was precarious. Old thing, did you forget about this old man? But at this moment, the red-haired old man who had been watching by the side suddenly attacked. Clang! Accompanied by a deafening sound, a 3-foot-long sword appeared. This long sword seemed to be made of magma. With the appearance of the long sword, the sharpness of a sovereign realm divine artifact swept out in all directions. The next moment, the long sword arrived behind Old Hai. Old Hai hurriedly dodged, but his body was still torn apart by the sharp sword. However, his torn body instantly healed, and then he glared at the red-haired old man and said angrily, "You're despicable. No matter how despicable I am, I'm not as despicable as you. You actually ran to the lower realm to capture people." The red-haired old man waved his hand, and the long sword slashed toward Old Hai again. Old Hai's pupils shrank, and with a wave of his hand, a space-time crack appeared. With this old man here, do you think you can escape? Time stop. The red-haired old man pointed his finger, and the time here once again stopped. Following closely, the long sword slashed toward Old Hai. Ah! A scream suddenly sounded. Old Hai's body was immediately shattered in the void, and his soul was destroyed. This, Qin Feiyang was stunned. A half-step sovereign realm expert died just like that? The sovereign realm was too far away for him. Therefore, at this moment, seeing a sovereign realm expert die with his own eyes, he found it hard to accept. However, the red-haired old man's eyebrows did not waver at all. He released his divine will and instantly locked onto a part of the void. Immediately, he raised his old hand and grabbed at the air, and a small boat-shaped spatial divine item appeared. Looking at this spatial divine item, Qin Feiyang's eyes suddenly lit up. Clang! He grabbed the sky-breaking halberd and slashed at the divine boat. With a loud crack, dazzling sparks shot out from the void. The divine boat immediately shattered in the void, and 2 figures fell out. Wasn't it the purple-robed young man and the mermaid princess? Feiyang! The mermaid princess exclaimed in surprise. Qin Feiyang was also very happy, and immediately rushed toward the mermaid princess. Stop! The purple-robed young man's voice suddenly sounded. He grabbed the mermaid princess's neck, and his eyes were full of malice. Qin Feiyang's eyes darkened. Only now did he notice that the mermaid princess was no longer breathing, and there were still some traces of blood on her lower abdomen. It was obvious. Her sea of qi had been destroyed. You're courting death. Looking at the bloodstains, Qin Feiyang suddenly burned with anger, and the sky-breaking halberd emitted a destructive aura. Didn't you hear me tell you to stop? Otherwise, I'll kill her. The purple-robed young man shouted. However, as soon as he finished speaking, time stopped again. Obviously, the red-haired old man had attacked. Qin Feiyang rushed forward, hugged the mermaid princess, and directly raised the sky-breaking halberd, and cut off one of the purple-robed young man's arms. At this moment, the red-haired old man also stopped time. Ah! The purple-robed young man suddenly covered his shoulder and howled. Qin Feiyang glanced at the purple-robed young man, then looked at the mermaid princess in his arms, and said, "I'm sorry, I've let you suffer so much." "It's okay," the mermaid princess shook her head and lay in Qin Feiyang's arms. Her tears instantly wet Qin Feiyang's chest. Qin Feiyang's heart ached. Staring at the purple-robed young man, he gritted his teeth and said, "Don't worry, I won't let you die so easily. Destroy his sea of qi for me." The sunset bow was shot, and an arrow sank into the purple-robed young man's sea of qi. His sea of qi was also shattered. The purple-robed young man roared, "Bastard, do you know who I am? How dare you hurt me? Do you know how much you'll have to pay for this? Even if you're the son of the god of creation, I'm not afraid." Qin Feiyang smiled sinisterly. With a thought, the white-eyed wolf and a group of fierce beasts appeared and shouted, "Torture him to death. Bastard, how dare you come and steal little Qin Zi's woman, you're fucking immortal." Hearing this, the white-eyed wolf immediately roared and pounced on the purple-robed young man. Immediately. That was where the miserable screams came from. Clang! At this moment, the castle returned. But the horsetail whisk was nowhere to be seen. Qin Feiyang looked at the castle and asked, "Where's the sovereign divine weapon?" The castle did not answer and directly returned to the Black Tortoise realm. Qin Feiyang frowned and couldn't help but look in the direction of the battle between the castle and the horsetail whisk. "Don't look for it, if the sovereign divine weapon wants to leave, you can't stop it." The red-haired old man smiled faintly. Qin Feiyang turned to look at the red-haired old man. The red-haired old man smiled kindly. Qin Feiyang took out a spirit sea pill and put it in the mermaid princess's mouth. Then, he turned to the red-haired old man and bowed. "Thank you for your help, Senior." "Thank you, Senior." The mermaid princess also bowed. The red-haired old man looked at the two and asked, "Looking at your clothes, you seem to have just gotten married?" "Yes. In the morning, we had just gotten married when these two people came. Not only did they attack us, but they also hurt many people of the great Qin Empire." Qin Feiyang nodded. "I can't believe they would do something like breaking up a couple. They're indeed a group of inhumane people." The red-haired old man shook his head. "Who exactly are they?" Qin Feiyang was suspicious. The red-haired old man sighed. "They have a strong background, and the force behind them is even stronger. Even I have to be wary." "Are they that scary?" Qin Feiyang frowned. "Let's put it this way. The force they belong to is one of the strongest forces in the Sky Cloud realm." The red-haired old man thought for a moment and said, "Sky Cloud realm?" Qin Feiyang was stunned. Chapter 2986. The Sky Cloud realm is the fourth layer you speak of. After the red-haired old man finished speaking, he waved his hand, and the long sword returned to his body. "Sky Cloud realm," Qin Feiyang murmured. The red-haired old man looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, "Actually, this old man has to thank you." "Thank me?" Qin Feiyang was taken aback. "Yes. This old man and he have been fighting here for a whole day, but because our strength and cultivation are equal, and we both have sovereign divine weapons, we have been unable to determine the winner. And your arrival has undoubtedly broken this balance. So this old man can quickly kill him." The red-haired old man laughed. "No, no, no. It is this junior who should thank Senior. If it weren't for Senior stopping him here, I don't know how long it would take for me to save my wife. Senior, please accept my and my wife's 3 kowtows." After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he and the mermaid princess looked at each other, and then bowed deeply to the red-haired old man 3 times. He, you know how to repay kindness. You are a good young man. The red-haired old man nodded. Senior, you flatter me. Qin Feiyang shook his head and sighed, I can't even protect my own woman. What kind of good am I? You don't have to be like this. Your strength still needs to be tested. After all, you are still so young. The opponent you are facing this time is not something your place can compare to. Facing these 2 people, not to mention you, even in the entire Sky Cloud realm, there are not many who dare to go against them. So, you dare to face them head-on and kill their subordinates. This courage is not bad. The red-haired old man smiled slightly. Are they really so strong? Qin Feiyang frowned. Of course. As one of the strongest forces in the Sky Cloud realm, any order from them can shake the Sky Cloud realm. The red-haired old man nodded. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess looked at each other. It seemed that this time they had really encountered a strong enemy. The mermaid princess said, then Senior's origin must not be simple. Why do you say that? The red-haired old man chuckled. When you killed Old Hai, you didn't even blink. Furthermore, you don't seem to be worried in the slightest. Therefore, Junior, your origin is definitely not inferior to theirs. The mermaid princess said. Little girl, you're very smart. The red-haired old man smiled. Senior, you flatter me. The mermaid princess waved her hand. Yes. Indeed, the power that this old man belongs to is not weaker than them. Furthermore, both of us are in a relationship of mutual fear. The red-haired old man nodded. Qin Feiyang asked suspiciously, then why did Senior come to intercept them? Because we received news that they left the Sky Cloud realm. As enemies, we naturally have to come and see what they are up to. But I never thought that I would get to know the 2 of you. The red-haired old man smiled. It's us who are climbing up the social ladder. Qin Feiyang blushed with shame as he shook his head. He bowed and said, May I know Senior's name? It's just a name. It's not worth mentioning. If you don't mind, you can call me Elder Hua. The red-haired old man smiled faintly. Greetings, Elder Hua. Both of them bowed in unison. The red-haired old man nodded and then looked at the white-eyed wolf and the other beasts, asking, Are they all your spiritual pets? No. They are my partners, not spiritual pets. Qin Feiyang quickly waved his hand. Partners? The red-haired old man was taken aback. Yes. We have been through life and death together for many years. In this Junior's eyes, they are all Junior's family. Qin Feiyang nodded. Treating the beasts as your family, young man, you are indeed interesting. However, just let them be. Don't go too far. After all, the strength behind them isn't simple. Be careful of their crazy revenge in the future. The red-haired old man said. Revenge? Sooner or later, I will kill them in front of them and make them regret everything they did today. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with a cold light. Your courage is commendable, but you still have to work hard. As for that Old Hai, it will be difficult for you to kill him. The red-haired old man shook his head. Isn't he already dead? Qin Feiyang said. Dead? The red-haired old man was taken aback and shook his head. How can a powerhouse of their level die so easily? Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess were shocked and said, Could it be that their divine souls are still in the Sky Cloud realm? That's for sure. Otherwise, do you think that the sovereign divine weapon won't care about their life and death? The red-haired old man smiled faintly. Qin Feiyang's face sank. He looked at the white-eyed wolf and the others and said, Be more ruthless. Although they wouldn't die, it was good to collect more interest now. Understood. The white-eyed wolf smiled. Seeing this, the red-haired old man couldn't help but shake his head and laugh. Sure enough, the newborn calf wasn't afraid of the tiger, but it was also interesting. At such a young age, he already had a sovereign divine weapon. His means and character must be quite good. When he entered the sky cloud realm, he might really cause some trouble. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess didn't continue to ask about the red-haired old man's identity. Because from the red-haired old man's tone and attitude, they knew that he didn't want to say too much. If they continued to pester, it would definitely arouse the other party's disgust. A terrifying sovereign realm powerhouse with a sovereign divine weapon. This was something that they absolutely couldn't provoke. Qin Feiyang, I'm telling you, you're dead, the purple-clothed young man wailed and roared. You still have the strength to talk. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and looked at the white-eyed wolf and said, What are you doing? Hearing this, the white-eyed wolf immediately became angry and slapped the young man's mouth with his claws. As soon as he opened his mouth, the skin and flesh were immediately torn open. Broken teeth, mixed with blood, constantly spurted out. You will all die, I swear, the purple-clothed young man roared with resentment. You can still talk. The white-eyed wolf was stunned and roared, Golden Scale Sword. The Golden Scale Sword was the golden longsword that once belonged to the Golden Dragon ancestor dragon. Whoosh! The Golden Scale Sword fell in front of the white-eyed wolf. The white-eyed wolf shouted, Chop him into mincemeat. Clang! The Golden Scale Sword shook and immediately slashed. The purple-clothed young man's body was immediately cut in half. Another slash, 4.5. Another slash, 8.5. Just like this, the purple-clothed young man was slowly chopped into mincemeat by the Golden Scale Sword. A bit ruthless. Looking at this scene, even the red-haired old man couldn't help but feel a little numb. Old senior, I'm sorry to let you see such a bloody scene. Qin Feiyang said apologetically. Which one of us doesn't have hands stained with blood? Besides, people have tempers. It's understandable. The red-haired old man waved his hand and smiled, Since we met here, why don't we go to the sky cloud realm together? This, Qin Feiyang was a little hesitant. Little friend is really a vigilant person. Fine. This old man will take his leave first. The red-haired old man shook his head and smiled, then turned around and disappeared like lightning. The mermaid princess looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously and said, Feiyang, this person doesn't look like a bad person. Qin Feiyang withdrew his gaze and sighed, we know nothing about the sky cloud realm. It's better to be careful. After we confirm it in the future, we will thank him properly. Chapter 2987. Boss, this is his. The white-eyed wolf casually threw a Qiankuan bag to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang caught it in his hand and looked down. What should we do with this pile of meat? The white-eyed wolf and a group of beasts surrounded the purple-clothed young man's meat and discussed. What else can we do? Grind his bones and scatter his ashes. The big black wolf said angrily. Divine power emerged and slowly destroyed the purple-clothed young man's flesh and blood. Bastard, try to provoke us again. Immediately. A group of beasts ran to Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess while cursing. Boss, how is it? Did you find any valuable treasures? The three black leopard brothers laughed. After rescuing the mermaid princess, not only Qin Feiyang, but they were also in a good mood. Just some soul stones, divine crystals, some herbs, divine weapons. Qin Feiyang shook his head, but when he said this, he was slightly stunned. Immediately after, he took out a badge from his Qiankuan ring. This badge was the size of a baby's fist. It was overflowing with light as if it was cast from gold foil. There was a divine dragon pattern on it. Everyone looked at the badge curiously. Divine Dragon Pattern? What was this? Could it be this person's identity badge? But shouldn't an identity badge have a name? But there was nothing on it except for the Divine Dragon Pattern. Wait! The white-eyed wolf suddenly said in surprise, "Don't you feel that there seems to be a mysterious aura in this badge?" Mysterious aura? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Yes. The white-eyed wolf nodded and released his divine sense to cover the badge. But the next moment, its body and mind trembled as if it had been hit by an invisible heavy blow. It spat out a mouthful of old blood. Brother Wolf, you, Fire Qilin and the other beasts looked at the white-eyed wolf in surprise. Something's wrong. Seeing the white-eyed wolf's abnormal behavior, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He also tried to release his divine sense into the badge. Boom! Immediately, he felt an imposing aura heading straight for his sea of consciousness. Puff! The next moment, like the white-eyed wolf, his body shook violently and he spat out a mouthful of blood. What's going on? Seeing Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf get hurt by the badge, the mermaid princess and the blood Kirin were shocked. Qin Feiyang wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said in a deep voice, "This badge shouldn't be an identity token." What could it be? The mermaid princess asked. I don't know. However, if this emblem is truly that important, I believe that Old Hai and the others will definitely not let this matter rest. Let's go. Qin Feiyang immediately put away the badge and sent the white-eyed wolf and the other beasts to the Black Tortoise realm. Then, he took the mermaid princess and used the walk formula to rush in the direction of the red-haired old man. Feiyang, are you worried that they will come for us? The mermaid princess asked. Yes. If they really come, then our situation is extremely bad. So, we must leave this space-time portal as soon as possible. Otherwise, if we are blocked by them, we will not be able to escape. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice. About a moment later, finally, a crack appeared in front of them. That should be the exit. Qin Feiyang looked at the crack and rushed out like a stream of light. After a few breaths, the two rushed out of the crack with a whoosh. Immediately, a surging ocean entered their line of sight. The sea was endless, the wind was howling, and giant wolves were rolling as if covering the sky. Huh! Qin Feiyang and the other man were astonished. Outside the exit, it was actually a sea. Looking down again, they found that there was a small island below the sea. The island was only a few miles long. The vegetation was lush, and in the center of the island, there was a towering giant mountain. At this moment, they were standing above the mountain peak. Turning their head again, the space-time portal was standing in the void behind them. This is the Sky Cloud Realm? The mermaid princess glanced at the magnificent sea around her, her eyes full of surprise. Who is disturbing this emperor's cultivation? Suddenly, an angry roar sounded. With the roar, a monstrous aura emerged from the island below. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess changed their expressions on the spot. This aura was definitely not below Old Hai and the red-haired old man. In other words, this beast was also a sovereign realm existence. They had just entered the Sky Cloud Realm, and they had already encountered such a powerful beast. How many experts were there in this land? Making a prompt decision, Qin Feiyang activated the concealment technique, took out the divine moon jade pendant, grabbed the mermaid princess, and hid in the void. At the next moment, a black little thing rushed to the top of the mountain, a pair of small eyes angrily staring at the space-time portal. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess were stunned. When they heard the roar before, they thought that it must be a very big and ferocious beast. Because the roar was too loud, it shook the blood in their body. But now, what ran up was a chopstick-sized rabbit. Its whole body was covered with white fluffy hair. His two dark eyes seemed to be extremely intelligent. Not only did it not look fierce, but it also looked very cute. Is this the owner of the roar? The couple looked at the little white rabbit with curiosity written on their faces. No one. The little rabbit murmured. Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice, that's right. This is its voice. Be careful. Suddenly, the little rabbit released its divine sense and shrouded the mountain peak. We won't be discovered, right? The mermaid princess said worriedly. With the divine moon jade pendant, we won't. Qin Feiyang nodded confidently. However, before his voice fell, the little rabbit's eyes turned and looked straight at the place where the two of them were. Qin Feiyang's heart trembled. They were discovered? But that was impossible. The divine moon jade pendant could block all searches and spies. You think you haven't been seen? What an idiot. The little rabbit suddenly showed a look of disdain. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess were stunned. They were really discovered. Come out, don't let this emperor make a move. If this emperor makes a move, then you will have to prepare a coffin. The little rabbit stood up on its hind legs and spoke in an overbearing manner as if it was an old man. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess looked at each other and couldn't help but smile bitterly. Then, they turned off their concealment technique and appeared in front of the little rabbit. The little rabbit looked at the two of them, then looked at the divine moon jade pendant in Qin Feiyang's hand and said indifferently, so it's made of heavenly domain divine stone. No wonder you are so bold and dare to stand in front of this emperor so openly. Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly, didn't we still not escape Senior's eyes? What a joke. Why don't you look at this emperor's cultivation? How can a mere heavenly domain divine stone escape this emperor's senses? The little rabbit smiled disdainfully, then looked at the two of them and asked, you should be from the lower realm, right? This, Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess looked at each other. The little rabbit said, are you wondering how this emperor knows? The two of them nodded. Because of your ignorance. The heavenly domain divine stone can indeed hide your aura, but it can't escape the search of a dominator. The little rabbit said. What? Qin Feiyang was shocked. This matter, almost all the creatures in the sky cloud realm know, but you still use the heavenly domain divine stone to hide it in front of this emperor. What does this mean? Isn't this the same as bearing the fact that you are from the lower realm? The little rabbit pouted. Thank you, Senior, for the reminder. Qin Feiyang cupped his hands. This didn't seem very important, but in fact, it was related to their life and death. Because if they didn't know this in advance and used the divine moon jade pendant to hide when they encountered a strong enemy, it was tantamount to courting death. Remind? The little rabbit was slightly stunned and frowned. Are you stupid? Is this emperor reminding you? Qin Feiyang smiled embarrassedly. Today is really a bit lively. First it was those two old men, and now it's you. Those two old men are strong, this emperor can't keep them, but you too. Speaking of this, the little rabbit's eyes suddenly flashed with a fierce light. Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank and hurriedly said, we didn't mean to disturb, I hope Senior can forgive us. Yes. This is the first time we came to the sky cloud realm, so we didn't know you were cultivating here. If we have disturbed you, I hope Senior can forgive us. Mermaid Princess also hurriedly apologized. The little rabbit raised her eyebrows and said, just a word of forgiveness and you want to solve the matter? Then what do you want? Qin Feiyang asked. His tone was a bit impatient. Isn't this looking for trouble? This isn't your private territory, why can't others come here? What do I want? The little rabbit smiled playfully, and a terrifying pressure suddenly rushed towards the two. The two's body shook, and a mouthful of blood rushed to their throat. Don't go too far, Qin Feiyang said angrily. So what if I'm bullying you? If you want this emperor to forgive you, take out the good wine. Don't tell me you don't have wine on you. The little rabbit said. Qin Feiyang was stunned. Mermaid Princess was also stunned. Good wine? What is this? Could it be that this little rabbit is also a drunkard? The little rabbit said angrily, What's with your eyes? Are you looking down on this emperor? The pressure intensified. No, 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 Qin Feiyang hurriedly shook his head and said, You should have said so earlier, isn't it just wine, what's the big deal? The little rabbit was taken aback and asked, Listening to your tone, you also like this? Yes, 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 in this world, other than my wife, wine is something I like. Qin Feiyang hurriedly nodded. Mermaid Princess looked at Qin Feiyang strangely. Why don't you blush when lying? Who doesn't know you don't drink? Wait. The people of the Sky Cloud Realm didn't seem to know. Really? The little rabbit looked at Qin Feiyang. More real than real gold. Qin Feiyang nodded. Then why didn't you say so earlier? If you said you were a kindred spirit, why would this emperor make things difficult for you? The little rabbit retracted its power and said with a smile, Tell me, what good wine do you have? Qin Feiyang was about to speak. The little rabbit said again, I'm warning you, don't be like those brats a while ago, giving this emperor a few jars of trash, even using it to rinse my mouth. This emperor feels uncomfortable. A while ago? Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked suspiciously, Which brats? They also came from the lower realm. The little rabbit said. Chapter 2988. They're from the lower realm? Qin Feiyang and the Mermaid Princess looked at each other. Could it be Li Feng and the others? Qin Feiyang asked, May I ask what they look like? The little white rabbit said, 2 humans and a heaven-defying divine artifact. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the figures of Li Feng, the mysterious young man, and the grey castle appeared. It's them. At first, they said that it must be a peerless divine wine, but when I drank it, it tasted like horse urine. I was so angry that I beat them up. The little white rabbit sneered. Beat them up? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Li Feng was not that strong, and even the blood ancestor could not protect him against the little white rabbit. Moreover, although the grey castle was a heaven-defying divine artifact, it could only be beaten up by the little white rabbit. However, the mysterious young man was unfathomable. He had always been the one beating others, but the little white rabbit beat him up too. This surprised him a little. It was also a pity that he could not see the young man being beaten up. Then where are they? Qin Feiyang asked. Of course, they're thrown into the sea to feed the fish. The little white rabbit said indifferently. Qin Feiyang's mouth twitched. He did not know if it was true or not, but it should not be so. Why do you have so many questions? Can you hurry up? The little white rabbit frowned, obviously starting to get impatient. Qin Feiyang began to feel troubled again. He definitely had wine. Even if he did not have it on him, there were plenty in the Black Tortoise world. He originally planned to take out some wine to fool them, but when he heard that the young man and the others were beaten up, he could not help but feel a little guilty. He did not care about himself, but the Mermaid Princess could not be beaten up with him. Hurry up, are you testing my patience? The little white rabbit frowned and made a fierce look, but in the eyes of Qin Feiyang, it was extremely cute. The Mermaid Princess said, I guess only the immortal wine can satisfy it. I think so too. But only Hua Yi and Miss Immortal Wine have it. Where can I find it now? Qin Feiyang was helpless. If he had known earlier, he would have dragged Hua Yi along. Young master, I'll give it a jar of immortal wine. The voice of the 5-clawed golden dragon suddenly sounded in Qin Feiyang's mind. They were all watching from the Black Tortoise realm, so they knew what was happening outside. Qin Feiyang stared blankly and hastily asked, "You have the immortal intoxication?" "Yes. Before I left, I took a lot from Hua-yi. The five-clawed golden dragon said. Qin Feiyang slapped his head. How could he forget that this guy was also an alcoholic? He quickly transmitted a message to Qin Feiyang, "You are truly my savior. Quickly give me a jug." The next moment, a jar of heavenly immortal wine appeared in front of Qin Feiyang. It looked funny. Because with its small body, it couldn't hold the wine jar with its two claws. This jar of immortal wine was also unopened. The little white rabbit looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Kid, don't fool me, or you will have to go to the sea to feed the fish." "I don't dare." Qin Feiyang waved his hand. The little white rabbit waved its paw and opened the wooden lid of the wine jar. Originally, it didn't have much hope. How could a person from the lower realms have any good wine? But the moment it was opened, its eyes popped out. This wine aroma was too intoxicating. It couldn't wait to take a sip and immediately revealed an intoxicated expression. "This immortal wine can be eaten in the sky cloud realm?" Looking at the little white rabbit, Qin Feiyang couldn't help but mutter. Originally, he didn't have much confidence. Because the immortal wine was a peerless divine wine, but this was the sky cloud realm. The sky cloud realm was stronger than the ancient realm, so there must be a lot of peerless divine wine. So in his opinion, the immortal wine might not be able to please the little white rabbit. But now, looking at the little white rabbit's reaction, it didn't seem to be what he thought. "Not bad, not bad. Finally, I've encountered a decent jar of wine." The little white rabbit drank a few more mouthfuls and nodded with a smile. "It's good that you like it." Qin Feiyang laughed. The little white rabbit looked up at Qin Feiyang and asked coldly, "Is there more?" Qin Feiyang was stunned and shook his head. "This kind of wine is already a rare treasure in our lower realms, so I only have one jar." "Really?" The little white rabbit didn't believe it. Qin Feiyang nodded. The little white rabbit frowned. "Why don't I believe it?" "If you don't believe me, you can check my universe ring," Qin Feiyang said. "Do you think I'm stupid? Why would you put such a good wine in a universe ring? If you want to put it, you should put it in a space divine object," the little white rabbit said. Qin Feiyang smiled embarrassedly and said, "Is this wine really good?" The little white rabbit nodded and said, "Even in the sky cloud realm, it's considered the best." Qin Feiyang nodded and then glanced at the mermaid princess. "If Miss Fairy comes here to open a restaurant, she will definitely make a lot of money." The mermaid princess could not help but laugh. "Don't flirt in front of me. Is there more? I like honest people." The little white rabbit looked at the two with a fierce light in her eyes. Qin Feiyang was about to speak. Boom! Suddenly, in the distant sea, two powerful auras rolled out. Qin Feiyang immediately looked up with a trace of surprise in his eyes. One of the auras seemed to be the sovereign divine weapon, the horsetail whisk. The other aura was even stronger than Old Hai and the red-haired old man. "It seems that it's as you expected." The mermaid princess's face also sank slightly. The little white rabbit saw the changes in the expressions of the two, and a light flashed in her eyes. "Your enemy?" Qin Feiyang looked at the little white rabbit's eyes and felt that something was wrong. He smiled and said, "We just came to the sky cloud realm, how could we have any enemies?" "Is that so?" The little white rabbit smiled faintly. Qin Feiyang felt bitter in his heart. This little rabbit was really more clever than a ghost. In his heart, he was quite anxious. He had to leave immediately. "Senior, the wine has been given to you. Can we go now?" Qin Feiyang asked. "Don't worry. The little white rabbit waved her paw and stopped the two, saying, "Since it's not an enemy, what are you afraid of?" "We are not afraid," Qin Feiyang said. "Don't pretend. What kind of people have I not seen? Do you think you can hide this from me? Let's talk about the conditions." The little white rabbit said disdainfully. Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly and said, "Please say it. I will help you escape their pursuit, and as a reward, give me another 100 jars of this wine." The little white rabbit patted the wine jar and said, "You are a bit dishonest. How can you take advantage of a burning house?" Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly. "Who told you to lie to me?" The little white rabbit snorted and said indifferently, "They will be here soon. You choose between the wine and your life." Qin Feiyang looked at the mermaid princess, and the mermaid princess also looked helpless. Qin Feiyang said, "Little Gold, how much wine do you have?" "I only have 200 jars in total. I pestered Hua Yi for a long time to get it." The five-clawed golden dragon said with a little grievance. He definitely had to take out this wine, otherwise Qin Feiyang would be in danger. But he really couldn't bear to. "I know how you feel now, but don't worry, when there is a chance in the future, I will definitely get you some divine wine of the Sky Cloud realm," Qin Feiyang said. The five-clawed golden dragon said, "This is what you said, I will remember it in my heart." "I said it." Qin Feiyang responded and looked at the little white rabbit. "Okay, I will give it to you." Originally, they could have bargained, but there was no time for that now. "You really lied to me." The little white rabbit glared at Qin Feiyang, and with a wave of its claws, the two were sent to an unfamiliar place. This was a stone room. It was closed on all sides, but the space was quite large. It should be several miles away. It was in this stone room that Qin Feiyang and Li Qiye finally saw what a real drunkard was. In this huge stone room, more than half of the stone room was piled up with wine jars. There were at least hundreds of thousands of wine jars. And none of them were opened. This little rabbit, it is even more exaggerated than Hua Yi and Little Gold. The mermaid princess shook her head and laughed. And this place must be the little rabbit's spatial divine item. It actually used a spatial divine item to store wine. This was the first time they had encountered such a thing. Boom! Not long after Qin Feiyang and the little white rabbit disappeared, two streams of light broke through the sky and landed on the mountain peak. One of them was a horsetail whisk. The other was an old man in blood-red clothes. With blood-red hair and blood-red robes, he looked like he had just walked out of hell. His murderous aura was monstrous. "Yo! Isn't this the old man from the Western continent? Why do you have time to come here?" The little white rabbit glanced at the old man in blood-red clothes and said indifferently. The old man in blood-red clothes looked at the little white rabbit, snorted, and flew straight toward the space-time crack with the horsetail whisk. "What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you think I don't exist? Have you forgotten the rules?" The little white rabbit swished and stopped in front of the space-time crack. Looking at the old man in blood-red clothes, a cold light flashed in her eyes. The old man in blood-red clothes snorted and took out 100 wine jars, threw them to the little white rabbit, and rushed into the space-time crack without looking back. "Hee hee." The little white rabbit grinned. With a wave of her little paw, the 100 wine jars immediately entered the stone room. "These are the rules?" Qin Feiyang looked at the wine jars in a daze. "Even these have to follow the rules. Looks like it's extraordinarily strong." The mermaid princess said. "Little girl, you're quite perceptive." The little white rabbit suddenly appeared in front of the two of them. Qin Feiyang asked suspiciously, "Senior, who exactly are you?" "Guess?" The little white rabbit twisted the wine jar and drank while looking at Qin Feiyang playfully. "I can't guess." Qin Feiyang shook his head. "If you can't guess, shouldn't you at least pretend to guess?" You're such a boring person. The little white rabbit shook her head and looked at the mermaid princess. She shook her head and said, "Little girl, why do you like him? He's just a piece of wood." The mermaid princess smiled helplessly. Senior, don't try to sow discord between us, okay? Qin Feiyang was speechless. Who's in the mood? If it weren't for the 100 jars of wine, I wouldn't even bother with you. The little white rabbit looked at him with disdain. Yes, yes, yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Suddenly, his expression changed. He looked at the mermaid princess and said, "They didn't find us in the space-time tunnel. Will they go to the Nether King's Hell or the Great Qin Empire?" The mermaid princess' expression changed when she heard this. With the strength of these people, if they went to the Great Qin Empire, wouldn't they cause a lot of trouble? Chapter 2989. The two of them were worried. I'm curious. What did you guys do? Even that old thing came to look for you personally? The little white rabbit looked at the two of them suspiciously. We didn't do anything. They came to look for us on their own initiative. Qin Feiyang said. Is that so? That's strange. The little white rabbit muttered. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while, took out the badge, and asked, "Senior, do you know what this is?" The little white rabbit glanced at the badge, and her eyes seemed to be glued to it, unable to move away. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess looked at each other, and their hearts couldn't help but tremble. It seemed that this thing was really extraordinary. The little white rabbit put down the wine jar, took the badge with a solemn face, and looked at it for a while, and asked, "This thing, where did you get it?" "We snatched it from a young man in the space-time transmission channel," Qin Feiyang said. Young man? The little white rabbit was stunned. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the phantoms of the purple-robed young man and old Hai condensed. So it's them. I'm curious. Why did I only see the sovereign divine weapon come out and not them? It seems that they have died in your hands. The little white rabbit looked at the two of them and said. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Amazing. You can even kill them. The little white rabbit was surprised. We killed the young man, but the one called Old Hai was killed by another old man. Qin Feiyang said. The little white rabbit asked, that little old man? Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Interesting. The little white rabbit raised the corner of her mouth, looked at the two of them, and said, I'm really curious. Who are you people? To be able to make them come down personally. We're just ordinary people. I really don't know why they want to find trouble with us. Qin Feiyang also had a look of annoyance. Looking at Qin Feiyang, the little white rabbit's eyes flickered. Suddenly, there was a hint of surprise in the little white rabbit's eyes. Then, with a wave of its paw, a streak of divine power swept out and sliced Qin Feiyang's wrist at lightning speed. Streams of blood immediately flowed out. Senior, you, Qin Feiyang looked at little white rabbit in shock and anger. Shut up. Little white rabbit coldly shouted, staring at the blood on Qin Feiyang's wrist. What is it doing? The mermaid princess was suspicious. Who knows? Qin Feiyang pursed his lips. Suddenly, the little white rabbit exclaimed, this is actually purple gold dragon blood. What? The expressions of Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess changed. How could the little white rabbit recognize the purple gold dragon blood? One had to know. After taking Qin Baishan's elixir, the purple gold dragon blood had changed greatly. He had wandered the ancient realm for many years, but no one had recognized him. But now, this little white rabbit actually saw through it in an instant. What was going on? So that's how it is. This emperor understands. Little White Rabbit nodded in realization, then threw the badge to Qin Feiyang, grabbed the wine jar, and continued to drink. Qin Feiyang caught the badge and asked suspiciously, "What do you understand?" "I understand why they are targeting you," Little White Rabbit said. "Why?" Qin Feiyang hurriedly asked. "If you give this emperor another 500 jars of wine, this emperor will tell you." Little White Rabbit joked. 500 jars? Qin Feiyang's face darkened, and he shook his head, "No. Then there's no other way." Little White Rabbit shook his head. Qin Feiyang was quite anxious in his heart, and said, "Senior, look at this junior couple. We just came to the Sky Cloud realm and are unfamiliar with the place, and we are being chased by these experts. You should kindly tell us, so that we can be mentally prepared." Little White Rabbit pondered for a moment, and shook his head. "Kid, don't say that you don't have wine. Even if you do, this emperor can't tell you." "Why?" Qin Feiyang frowned. "If I tell you, it won't be fun. Don't ask any more, there are some things that you will slowly know," Little White Rabbit said. Qin Feiyang helplessly said, "Then you can at least tell me the origin of this badge. You can also investigate this by yourself. But there is one thing that this emperor can tell you. This thing is a hot potato. I advise you to throw it away long ago," Little White Rabbit said. "Hot potato," Qin Feiyang muttered. Little White Rabbit looked at the two and said indifferently, "As for the problem that you are worried about, you don't have to worry about it now." "What do you mean?" Qin Feiyang and Little White Rabbit were suspicious. Little White Rabbit said playfully, "They can't go to the lower realm now." The two looked at each other and wondered, why? "Why are you asking so many questions? If this emperor says that they can't go, then they can't go. You will know in the future." Little White Rabbit waved his paw and said impatiently, "All right." Qin Feiyang nodded. Although he didn't know why, he could finally breathe a sigh of relief. As long as they couldn't enter the lower realm. Boom! At this time, the two auras appeared again. Little White Rabbit waved its paw, and a picture appeared in the void. It was the blood-red clothed old man and the horsetail whisk. The blood-red clothed old man stood in front of the space crack and looked around. He frowned slightly and said, "They must have entered the Sky Cloud realm. Go back immediately and send people to search this sea area. Since they have entered the Sky Cloud realm, then the little rabbit that is guarding here should know where they went, right? Do you want to go and ask it?" The horsetail whisk let out an old voice. "Go and find it? This old man doesn't want to stick my warm face to its cold butt." The blood-red clothed old man snorted coldly and disappeared with the horsetail whisk in an instant. At least he has a little self-awareness. Hearing the conversation between the blood-red clothed old man and the horsetail whisk, Little White Rabbit smiled coldly. "Senior, looking at them, they seem to be afraid of you?" Qin Feiyang asked curiously. "Of course. This emperor's strength is not bragging. With just a few punches and kicks, I can send them to the Western Paradise." Little White Rabbit smiled proudly. Qin Feiyang and the Mermaid Princess looked at each other. "Is it true?" Little White Rabbit said, "Don't talk nonsense. Quickly give this emperor the wine." Qin Feiyang shook his head. With a thought, 100 jars of immortal wine appeared. "Not bad, not bad." Little White Rabbit released its divine sense. After checking one by one, it nodded in satisfaction and said, "Seeing this wine and you calling me senior, this emperor will give you a way out." "Thank you, senior. The two of us are all ears." Qin Feiyang quickly cupped his hands and thanked it. The blood-red clothed old man clearly wanted to seal this sea area. Without Little White Rabbit's help, it would be really difficult to escape. Keep going east. As this emperor expected, there should be someone helping you. Little White Rabbit smiled mysteriously. Keep going east, Qin Feiyang muttered. All right, we'll meet again if fate wills it. With a wave of its hand, Little White Rabbit sent Qin Feiyang and Little White Rabbit out. Mermaid Princess scanned the surrounding sea and asked, Feiyang, do we really have to keep going east? Qin Feiyang pondered for a moment, and thought to himself, I think, it shouldn't need to harm us, let's just listen to it. All right. Mermaid Princess nodded. Qin Feiyang lowered his head to look at the badge in his hand, and muttered, Is it really that hot? It was impossible to throw it away. This thing must have an extremely important meaning, and it might be useful in the future. Then. Qin Feiyang then kept the badge, took out 2 illusory form Dan, and said, just in case, let's change our appearances. Yes. Mermaid Princess nodded and took the illusory form Dan. The 2 of them quickly changed, and in the end, they turned into a middle-aged man and a middle-aged woman. Following that, the 2 of them entered the Black Tortoise realm, changed their clothes, and flew towards the eastern sea area hand in hand. Quite cautious. However, in front of them, it's useless. It seems that the Sky Cloud realm will also be lively. Little White Rabbit stood in the spatial divine object and watched Qin Feiyang and Little White Rabbit leave. The corner of her mouth lifted slightly, and she pursed her lips into a playful smile. Chapter 2990. The sea stretched as far as the eye could see, and the waves were turbulent. But in the sky, there were white clouds floating, like a fairyland in a painting. Above the sea, Qin Feiyang took the Mermaid Princess, using the walk formula, and moved as fast as lightning. Of course. Along the way, they didn't forget to appreciate the scenery of the Sky Cloud realm. After all, it was their first time here, and they were full of curiosity about everything here. First of all, the essence qi of the Sky Cloud realm was quite rich. It could be said that even a place like the ancient realm was not even 1/10 as rich as the Sky Cloud realm. Secondly, the sea beasts here. Their strength was quite terrifying. The beasts that Qin Feiyang encountered along the way were almost all in the imperishable realm. This really confirmed what the small beast had said before. In the 4th level, there were as many imperishable realm creatures as dogs. Although they were prepared, Qin Feiyang and the Mermaid Princess were still shocked, and they saw it with their own eyes. Half a month later, the 2 passed by an island. The island was not big, and there was a group of sea beasts on it. The weakest was at the 9th heaven realm, and there were a few sea beasts that had just reached the imperishable realm. Qin Feiyang and the Mermaid Princess did not disturb them and took a detour. You 2, wait. But suddenly, a voice sounded in the sea below. Qin Feiyang and the Mermaid Princess were taken aback and quickly looked down, only to see a figure rushing out of the waves and landing in front of them. It was a bearded man, about 1.9 meters tall, with a bare upper body, looking burly and full of a valiant aura. Qin Feiyang and the Mermaid Princess looked at each other and couldn't help but be vigilant. But at the same time, they were very happy. After walking in the sea for half a month, they finally met a living person. Because it was urgent that they quickly figure out the specific situation of the Sky Cloud realm. The bearded man looked at the 2, and a trace of joy gradually crept into his eyes. He bowed and said, I'm Luo Tianshan, and I came to talk to you rashly. I hope you 2 can forgive me. It's okay. Qin Feiyang waved his hand. May I ask your names? The bearded man asked. The Mermaid Princess was about to speak. Qin Feiyang grabbed the Mermaid Princess and looked at the bearded man. He smiled and said, he's just a nobody. He's not worth mentioning. The bearded man was taken aback. He quickly apologized, I was rude. I'm fine. What's the matter, Brother Luo? Qin Feiyang was curious. This, Luo Tianshan hesitated for a moment before he nodded and said, "There is indeed something that I would like the two of you to help me with. It's fate that brought us together. Brother Luo, feel free to speak your mind. So long as it's within my ability, I will definitely not refuse." Qin Feiyang smiled. "Brother, you're really a straightforward person." Luo Tianshan laughed. But then, he quickly stopped talking and turned his head to look at the island not far away. He said in a low voice, "Gentlemen, this is not the place to talk. Please follow me." After saying that, he flew to the left. Qin Feiyang and Luo Tianshan looked at each other and couldn't help but look at the island. That was the island that they took a detour to. And just now, Luo Tianshan's laughter clearly indicated that he was afraid of something. And the thing that he was afraid of was on the island. But on this island, other than the sea beasts, there didn't seem to be anything else. Could it be, what was on the island that made this person envious? "Brother?" Luo Tianshan couldn't help but call out in a low voice when he saw that Qin Feiyang and Luo Tianshan didn't follow. "Yes." Qin Feiyang quickly responded and said to the mermaid princess, "We're new here. Be careful, especially my name. Don't let it slip. You suspect that they're old Hai's men?" The mermaid princess secretly said. "Whether they are or not, it's always good to be cautious." Qin Feiyang said. Even if they weren't, they couldn't expose it. Because this sea area had been blocked by old Hai's forces. If he said his name and Luo Tianshan leaked it, it would bring trouble. "Okay." The mermaid princess responded. Immediately, the two flew toward Luo Tianshan. Luo Tianshan didn't ask anything else and flew straight ahead with the two. "Brother Luo, where are we going?" The mermaid princess was suspicious. Luo Tianshan pointed ahead and said with a smile, "There's an island ahead. Let's go there and talk." "So far?" The mermaid princess was stunned. "Madam, you don't know about this. I think Brother Luo must have companions, and they are now on the island that Brother Luo mentioned." Qin Feiyang said with a smile. Luo Tianshan was slightly stunned and looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise. "Brother, how do you know?" The mermaid princess also looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise. Of course, she knew about Qin Feiyang. She had never seen Luo Tianshan before, so how did she know that he had companions? It's very simple. If it's just a chat, there's no need to go so far. Because we can communicate through voice transmission. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. Luo Tianshan was stunned for a while before he came back to his senses. He gave a thumbs up and said with admiration, "Brother, you're a smart guy. You flatter me." Qin Feiyang waved his hand. Luo Tianshan shook his head. He was too modest. Then he looked at the mermaid princess and said with a smile, "Your husband is right. I do have a few companions on that island. Now I'll take you to see them." After that, he turned around and continued to lead the way. But when he turned around, he couldn't help but frown slightly. Would such a smart person ruin his plan? At the back, the mermaid princess looked at Luo Tianshan and said through voice transmission, "Feiyang, to be honest, your brain is really admirable. You can even think of this. It's not as exaggerated as you say. This is my experience. It's just that you rarely venture outside, so there are some things that you haven't thought of." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. The mermaid princess said, "Then I'll always follow you and explore the heavenly cloud mountain." "Aren't you always following me now?" Qin Feiyang looked at the mermaid princess suspiciously. "What I mean is, I don't want to stay in the black tortoise world. I want to stay by your side." The mermaid princess said. "Is there a difference?" Qin Feiyang was stunned and said, "If you stay in the black tortoise world, you'll still be by my side." "Of course there's a difference. We're separated by the black tortoise world. The mermaid princess pouted. Qin Feiyang was stunned. Separated by the black tortoise world? Hearing this, why did he feel like laughing? Although they were separated by the black tortoise world, entering the black tortoise world was just a matter of thought. There was no distance at all. I don't care. I'll keep an eye on you from outside, lest you take advantage of my carelessness and run off to flirt with other girls. The mermaid princess hugged Qin Feiyang's arm. Flirt with other girls? Hearing this, Qin Feiyang couldn't help but smile bitterly. My dear wife, don't you know me? Am I that kind of person? That's not necessarily true. The heavenly cloud world is full of outstanding people, there must be a lot of beautiful girls. When the time comes, you might fall in love with someone at first sight. The mermaid princess said. Okay. It's up to you. I also want you to stay by my side. Qin Feiyang reached out and hugged the mermaid princess's waist. The mermaid princess blushed and said angrily, "What are you doing? There's someone here." "What's there to be afraid of? I'm hugging my own wife, why should I be afraid of others talking?" Qin Feiyang pursed his lips and then asked in a low voice, "My dear wife, we don't seem to have consummated our marriage yet, right?" The mermaid princess's delicate body stiffened, and her cheeks turned even redder. "It's all because of those two bastards, they ruined our good thing," Qin Feiyang angrily said. He chuckled and said, "My dear wife, when do you think we should make up for this?" The mermaid princess's cheeks couldn't help but heat up. She rolled her eyes at Qin Feiyang and said, "What time is it now, and you're still thinking about these things?" "My dear wife, I don't agree with this. We've gone through the wedding ceremony, we're a real husband and wife. Isn't it normal for a husband and wife to think about this? Let's talk about it later. If we count according to the time in the black tortoise world, I'm already an antique that has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. But even now, I'm still a virgin, it's embarrassing to talk about it." Qin Feiyang's face was full of grievance. "This shows that you're a good man, what's there to be embarrassed about?" The mermaid princess was speechless. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "Shouldn't a good man be rewarded?" "Then tell me, what reward do you want?" The mermaid princess asked helplessly. "Come here." Qin Feiyang pointed at his face. "You," the mermaid princess blushed and glanced at Luo Tianshan in front of her, then quickly kissed Qin Feiyang's face. "Thank you, my dear wife." Qin Feiyang immediately hugged the mermaid princess. Luo Tianshan heard the sound and turned to look at the two hugging together. He chuckled and said, "You two are really a married couple." He thought that the two were already an old married couple. After all, Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess were now middle-aged. But he didn't know that the two had just gotten married and were still in the state of being newlyweds. Naturally, the feeling was different from that of an old married couple. Of course. Qin Feiyang laughed and put down the mermaid princess. The mermaid princess stared at Qin Feiyang, then looked at Luo Tianshan and said apologetically, "Brother Luo, I'm sorry." It's okay. We're all experienced people. I understand." Luo Tianshan waved his hand and then said, "But I really envy you." "Envy us?" Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess were stunned. Yes. It's said that when people reach middle age, the relationship between husband and wife will become family. This sentence is indeed true. Because many of my friends are like this. When you first fell in love and got married, it was quite fresh. But as time passed, it slowly became dull. But the two of you have been in the state of being in love for the first time. It's really rare. Luo Tianshan smiled and turned to continue leading the way. Qin Feiyang pulled the mermaid princess and followed behind him unhurriedly. "Feiyang," suddenly. The mermaid princess transmitted her voice. "What's wrong?" Qin Feiyang looked at her in confusion. The mermaid princess murmured, "These words," he said, "what are you thinking about? No matter how much time has passed, no matter how the future changes, my feelings for you will never change." Qin Feiyang said. "Really?" The mermaid princess raised her head and looked at Qin Feiyang, blinking her bright eyes. "Yes. Look at my father and mother. They can be considered as an old married couple. But now, aren't they still stuck together like glue?" Qin Feiyang said. "It seems to be true." The mermaid princess nodded. Although she didn't spend much time with the emperor couple, she usually looked at each other with eyes full of love. Chapter 2991. Qin Feiyang added, "And my ancestor and great-grandmother, you must have seen how close they are." "Yes." The mermaid princess nodded. "So, you don't have to worry at all, because the Qin clan has a good bloodline and we're all loyal men." Qin Feiyang said. "In that case, it's my fortune to be able to marry you?" The mermaid princess said. "Of course." Qin Feiyang smiled proudly. "Shameless." The mermaid princess rolled her eyes. She had seen a lot of people boasting, but she had never seen anyone boast about themselves like this. While they were talking, the island in front of them finally came into sight. The island was about 100 miles long, floating on the sea like a boat. However, when she looked at the island, the mermaid princess couldn't help but frown. The entire island was in ruins, and they could smell blood from afar. When they got closer, the island was full of sea beast corpses. Blood stained the ground. Qin Feiyang frowned and said, "Brother Luo, what's going on? A few days ago, when we came here, these sea beasts wanted to kill us. To avoid trouble, we just killed them." Luo Tianshan smiled faintly. Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess looked at each other. It seemed that these people were cruel and merciless, and they had to be more careful. "Brothers, come out and welcome the guests." When they entered the sky above the island, Luo Tianshan stopped and laughed. Whoosh! At that moment, with the sound of air breaking, 6 figures rushed out from the mountains below and landed opposite Luo Tianshan. These 6 people were all middle-aged, and there was obvious hostility between their eyebrows. The 6 of them looked at Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess suspiciously. Qin Feiyang and Luo Tianshan were also looking at the 6 people. Suddenly, Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank. 4 of these 6 people were half-step invincible realm, and the other 2 were beginner invincible realm. Then, he glanced at Luo Tianshan. Previously, Qin Feiyang had paid special attention to this person. However, this person had concealed his aura, and Qin Feiyang could not see through his cultivation. But now, looking at the other 6 people, he estimated that Luo Tianshan's cultivation was at least at the initial imperishable realm. He might even be stronger. The first wave of people they met in the sky cloud realm were actually all in the imperishable realm. This was truly a shocking matter. "Brother Luo, who are they?" One of the thinner middle-aged men looked away from Qin Feiyang and Luo Tianshan and looked at Luo Tianshan suspiciously. Luo Tianshan said, "I met these 2 near the island." "So you don't know him?" The thin middle-aged man was stunned and frowned. "Yes." Luo Tianshan nodded. When the other 5 heard this, they could not help but frown. The thin middle-aged man pulled Luo Tianshan to the side and transmitted his voice, "I don't know them. Why did you bring them here? Don't you need help? I saw that their cultivation was not bad, so I brought them back." Luo Tianshan thought to himself. But, the thin middle-aged man raised his eyebrows. "Don't worry. I have my own plans." Luo Tianshan transmitted his voice. "As long as you know what to do." The thin middle-aged man nodded. You still don't trust me? Luo Tianshan smiled slightly, turned around and walked to Qin Feiyang and Luo Tianshan's side, and said apologetically, I'm sorry, my brothers are a little afraid of strangers. It's okay. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and smiled, saying, now you can tell us. To tell you the truth, there is a treasure on the island you passed by before. Luo Tianshan said. Treasure? Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess looked at each other. Yes. Luo Tianshan nodded and said, if I tell you, you will definitely be shocked. Is it that exaggerated? Qin Feiyang smiled disapprovingly. I'm not joking with you. The treasure on the island is the first volume of the alchemy scripture. Luo Tianshan said word by word. Alchemy scripture. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. These people actually knew about the alchemy scripture? It was really a shock. Even in the ancient realm, no one knew about the alchemy scripture, but in the sky cloud realm, there were actually people who knew about it. Moreover, listening to Luo Tianshan's tone, it seemed that the existence of the alchemy scripture was not a secret in the sky cloud realm. Feiyang, calm down, maybe it's just the same name and not the alchemy scripture in your hand. Mermaid Princess saw the shock in Qin Feiyang's heart and secretly said. Qin Feiyang responded. How is it? Are you scared? Luo Tianshan looked at Qin Feiyang and smiled. Indeed. Qin Feiyang nodded calmly. As long as we get the first volume of the alchemy scripture, we will definitely have a meteoric rise in the future. So brother, you must help us. You can rest assured that when we get the first volume of the alchemy scripture, we will definitely not miss out on your copy. Luo Tianshan said. The first volume of the alchemy scripture, Qin Feiyang pondered again. This person mentioned the first volume again and again. Could it be that there was a second volume? Seeing Qin Feiyang's silence, Luo Tianshan thought that Qin Feiyang was unwilling and continued, Brother, I really treat you as a friend, otherwise I wouldn't tell you such important news. Thank you for your kindness, Brother Luo. However, we are only half-step immortal realm cultivators, not as good as you. What can we help you with? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Brother, don't be modest. When I was hiding in the sea before, I saw your speed with my own eyes. If I'm not wrong, the footwork you used at that time should be a heaven-defying divine art. Luo Tianshan smiled. Heaven-defying divine art. The 6 people next to him heard this and looked at Qin Feiyang with a trace of surprise in their eyes. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed, and he said with a smile, Brother Luo is really insightful. That's right. At that time, he had activated the Xing character art. Luo Tianshan said, with this heaven-defying divine art, even I can't catch up with you, so it will definitely be of great help. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and nodded, okay, I'll help you. To be honest, he was quite interested in this so-called pill scripture. Was it the same thing as the pill scripture in his hand? Thank you, brother. Luo Tianshan was wild with joy, then he looked at the other 6 and said, Brothers, are you ready? We're waiting for your order. One of them sneered. Good. Luo Tianshan nodded and looked at Qin Feiyang, saying, Brother, I can't explain the details in a short time. When we arrive, follow my orders. No problem. Qin Feiyang nodded. Then let's go. Luo Tianshan waved his hand, and the group immediately flew toward the island. Brother, don't you have a heaven-defying divine art? Why don't you show it to us? A thin middle-aged man suddenly looked at Qin Feiyang and said. Sure. Qin Feiyang nodded, rolled up everyone, and stepped on the walk formula, breaking through the air like lightning. This speed, it's really a heaven-defying divine art. The thin middle-aged man was dumbfounded. The other 5 also glanced at Qin Feiyang, and a trace of killing intent appeared in the depths of their eyes. For Qin Feiyang, who had mastered the kill formula, killing intent was the most sensitive. He noticed it at the first moment, and his heart suddenly trembled. It seemed that these people were not only ruthless, but also very greedy. Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered, and said to the mermaid princess, "You go to the Black Tortoise world first." "Why?" Mermaid princess was suspicious. "These people are not good people, you might be in danger if you stay outside," Qin Feiyang said. Mermaid princess's pupils shrank, and secretly said, "Then we might as well not go." "We have to go. I want to see what kind of pill scripture they are talking about. And I've been thinking that the pill scripture I have is not complete." Qin Feiyang thought to himself. Not complete? Mermaid princess was dazed. "Yes. When I came out of the Nether King Hell and checked the pill scripture, I found that it was already the last page of the pill scripture. Theoretically, the pill scripture should have the formula to open the door to the eternal realm, but it's not there. So I'm thinking, is this pill scripture not complete?" Qin Feiyang thought to himself. Mermaid princess asked, "You mean, there's another part of the pill scripture?" "I don't know. But now, since there's a part of the pill scripture, I have to go and take a look," Qin Feiyang said telepathically. "Okay." Mermaid princess thought to herself. Although she was also in the half-step undead realm, she didn't have a heaven-defying divine art or a heaven-defying divine artifact. Therefore, if Luo Tianshan and the others really had ulterior motives, they would only be a burden to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and the mermaid princess disappeared. Luo Tianshan and the others were dazed. "I've also noticed the sea beasts on the island. They're quite strong. I don't want her to be in danger," Qin Feiyang said with a smile. Luo Tianshan nodded and said with a smile, "Brother, you're really good to your woman. When a woman marries you, it's the same as entrusting her life to you. You have to protect her, don't you?" Qin Feiyang said. "I'm impressed." Luo Tianshan clasped his hands. The thin middle-aged man's eyes flashed and he said telepathically, "Brother Luo, he has a divine space item." Luo Tianshan thought to himself, "What's so special about a divine space item? I'm interested in his divine art." "We have the same idea," the thin middle-aged man said telepathically. Luo Tianshan smiled and then fell silent. If they knew that the place the mermaid princess went to wasn't a divine space item, but an independent world, they wouldn't be so disdainful. However, even if Qin Feiyang told them the truth, they might not believe him. After all, it was incredible to have an independent world. Soon, they returned to the island again. The sea beasts on the island didn't move. Some closed their eyes and took a nap. Some lay on the ground and basked in the sun. "Brother, the sea beasts on the island aren't as simple as they seem," Luo Tianshan said solemnly. "What do you mean?" Qin Feiyang was suspicious. "There's a beast king at the initial imperishable stage hidden on the island. It's very strong. The morning before yesterday, we were about to charge in, but we almost died in its hands. So, we can't be careless. The best thing is to leave as soon as you get the pill scripture. You have a divine art. It can't catch up," Luo Tianshan said in a low voice. "Understood." Qin Feiyang nodded. He didn't care about a sea beast at the initial imperishable stage. After all, even ancestral Gragon and other experts at the greater imperishable stage were no match for him. However, he still had to hold back in front of these people. Chapter 2992. Go! Following Luo Tianshan's order, a group of people immediately rushed into the sky above the island. Roar! Immediately, loud beastly roars rang out one after another. "You again! A sea beast at the initial stage of the imperishable realm suddenly roared and rushed toward Qin Feiyang and the others like a torrent. Get lost! Luo Tianshan snorted and stepped out, his aura rolling out. A wave of divine power also appeared and roared. Initial stage of the imperishable realm. Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank. This person's cultivation was indeed not simple. Boom! The two waves of divine power collided, and the void suddenly twisted. There was no suspense at all between the initial immortal level and the small immortal level. Roar! Along with a miserable shriek, the sea beast was sent flying. Blood gushed out as it smashed into the deep sea. After Luo Tianshan sent the sea beast flying, he pointed at a mountain in the middle of the island and said, "Brother, do you see that?" Qin Feiyang looked up and asked, "Is the first volume of the alchemy scripture there?" "There's a cave halfway up the mountain. It's a cave left behind by a predecessor, and the first volume of the alchemy scripture is there. You must be quick," Luo Tianshan said. Understood. Qin Feiyang nodded and used the walk formula to rush toward the mountain. Roar! At this moment, with a series of roars, the sea beasts below rushed up and pounced toward Qin Feiyang. "Help!" Luo Tianshan roared. Boom! The seven of them moved together, their auras erupting and divine power surging as they charged toward the sea beasts. The void was instantly soaked in blood. Qin Feiyang didn't stop at all. Because the speed of these sea beasts couldn't stop him at all. He was like a ghost, constantly dodging the obstructions of the sea beasts and smoothly arriving at the mountain peak. His divine sense appeared and shrouded the mountain. In the blink of an eye, he found the cave abode. The cave was halfway up the mountain and was only 500 or 600 meters away from the ground below. "Human, you're courting death." Two more sea beasts pounced towards Qin Feiyang with overflowing hostility. These two sea beasts were as large as mountains, and they were both in the initial imperishable realm. "I have no intention of harming you. I just want to take the things inside. Get out of my way." Qin Feiyang took a step forward, and his imposing aura surged towards the two sea beasts. Although he was only a half-step Undying Realm expert, he gave off an invisible pressure that made the two sea beasts fearful. However, the two sea beasts didn't retreat. They stood in front of Qin Feiyang, blocking the entrance of the cave. "Brother, let me help you." Luo Tianshan roared as he sent a half-step imperishable realm sea beast flying with a palm strike. Then, he charged towards Qin Feiyang. "Do you think I don't exist?" Suddenly, a cold voice sounded from below. As soon as this voice came out, the faces of the seven people from Luo Tianshan paled. Boom! The next moment, a monstrous aura burst out as a half-meter-long crocodile soared into the sky. "Brother, this is the Beast Emperor I was talking about. Quickly find a way to enter the cave." Luo Tianshan exclaimed and immediately charged towards the crocodile. "It seems that the lesson I taught you last time wasn't enough." The crocodile smiled ferociously. Boom! Its half-meter-long body suddenly began to grow. In an instant, its half-meter-long body expanded to hundreds of feet, and the scales all over its body seemed to be cast from divine iron, exuding a monstrous aura. Qin Feiyang looked at the crocodile and Luo Tianshan. They were both in the initial imperishable realm. Why was Luo Tianshan so afraid of the crocodile? Boom! The moment the man and the beast collided, Luo Tianshan spat out a mouthful of blood and flew out like a meteorite. Qin Feiyang was stunned. He was sent flying just like that? He couldn't even withstand a single blow. It seemed that the crocodile was terrifying in its body and strength. If the difference in strength was too great, it would be fatal. Take himself for example. With the body and strength of a sovereign, he could crush creatures of the same realm with his fists. Roar! After the crocodile blasted Luo Tianshan away, it turned around and looked at Qin Feiyang, its eyes flashing red. "You'd better not provoke me," Qin Feiyang said. The 7 people from Luo Tianshan were dumbfounded when they heard this. Better not provoke me? Shouldn't he be afraid when facing such a powerful beast? Why is he so arrogant? The crocodile was also stunned. This human must be a fool, right? The sea beast blocking the cave also had a mocking look in its eyes. However, at this moment, Qin Feiyang took advantage of their carelessness to use the movement formula and rushed into the cave at lightning speed. "You're courting death." The crocodile flew into a rage and charged towards the cave. "Stop it!" Luo Tianshan roared. The 7 of them immediately pounced forward. Inside the cave, Qin Feiyang scanned the surroundings. The cave was not big, only about 100 feet in size. There were weeds growing inside, which was enough to show that no one had lived here for a long time. There was only a stone bed and a rotten futon in the entire cave. There was a pile of rotten bones on the futon. Qin Feiyang walked closer to take a look. The bones had been there for God knows how long, but they turned into powder when he touched them. Qin Feiyang looked at the fingers of the bones and saw that there was an interspatial ring on them. Could the first volume of the pill mantra be in here? Qin Feiyang muttered. Sorry. Looking at the bones, Qin Feiyang reached out and took off the interspatial ring. However, at this moment, he suddenly felt a chill in his heart. There's danger. Qin Feiyang grabbed the interspatial ring and retreated without hesitation. At the same time, a blood-red divine light swept out from the rotten futon and went straight to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang looked and found that it was a blood-red scorpion. It was not big, only about the size of an adult's thumb. However, the aura it emitted was more terrifying than that of the alligator and Luo Tianshan. Boy, you've got guts. How dare you touch my things? The little scorpion stopped in the void and stared at Qin Feiyang like a poisonous snake. This is yours? Qin Feiyang frowned. Judging from its aura, this little scorpion should be at the profound undead stage. Great accomplishment. Imperishable realm experts were not much of a threat to him. This immortal's cave is mine. You said that the things here don't belong to me, then whose are they? The little scorpion smiled. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. It seemed that the sea beasts outside did not care about the interspatial ring, but the little scorpion. In other words, the real beast king was not the alligator, but the little scorpion. This cave is yours? I don't think so. There's a pile of bones here, and they're obviously human. You're just a turtle dove occupying a magpie's nest. Qin Feiyang said. Even so, shouldn't there be a first-come, first-served rule? The little scorpion stared at him, its eyes emitting a blood-red light. Qin Feiyang frowned and then said, well, let's not fight and solve it in a peaceful way. Tell me about it. The little scorpion was slightly stunned and looked at Qin Feiyang playfully. A half-step undead stage cultivator wanted to talk about peace with it? Are you kidding me? Okay. Since I'm bored, I'll play with you. Qin Feiyang said, let me see if there's anything I want in the interspatial ring. If there's nothing, I'll return it to you immediately. What if there is? The little scorpion asked. Qin Feiyang said, if there is, I'm willing to exchange treasures of the same value with you. Is that so? It seems that you have a lot of treasures on you. The little scorpion looked at Qin Feiyang playfully. Qin Feiyang said, I'm already very polite. I advise you not to push your luck. Huh, the little scorpion laughed and said, okay, as long as you can take out the things in the interspatial ring, I'll give it to you. Qin Feiyang was stunned and looked down at the interspatial ring. What did it mean? It suddenly became so generous. No. Suddenly. A trace of surprise appeared on his face. He didn't notice it before, but this interspatial ring seemed to have a sealed aura. At that moment, Qin Feiyang released his divine sense and indeed sensed the existence of the seal. "Huh," the little scorpion sneered. "You already knew that this interspatial ring had a seal?" Qin Feiyang frowned. "Of course. Also, I tried to break the seal inside, but I couldn't. So, I just left it here. Otherwise, do you think you have a share?" The little scorpion's eyes were full of disdain. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. If even the little scorpion couldn't break the seal, then he definitely couldn't do anything. However, he couldn't do anything, but it didn't mean that others couldn't do anything. One had to know that the two ancestors were supreme experts of the perfected indestructible stage, even stronger than the little scorpion. Moreover, since there was a seal, it meant that there must be a treasure in this interspatial ring. Otherwise, why would the owner of this white bone leave a seal before he died? "Hurry up. I'm waiting for you to break the seal," the little scorpion urged. The teasing in its eyes became even more intense. Qin Feiyang finally understood that even if he broke the seal, the little scorpion wouldn't let him go. In that case, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed, he activated the concealment technique, turned around and rushed out of the cave house without looking back. "Where is he?" The little scorpion was slightly stunned and glanced around, its eyes full of doubts. "Outside." As soon as Qin Feiyang went out, he saw Fierce Crocodile and a group of sea beasts outside the cave house. As for the 7 people of Luo Tianshan, they were all lying on the ground below. Qin Feiyang was about to silently pass through the encirclement of these sea beasts. Boom! But at this moment, in the cave house, a monstrous ferocious aura rolled out. This was the ferocious aura of the little scorpion. The little scorpion was at the great achievement indestructible stage, while Qin Feiyang was only at the half-step indestructible stage. His stealth state was immediately broken by force. Fierce Crocodile and a group of sea beasts looked at Qin Feiyang standing in front of them and couldn't help but be stunned. Then, this group of sea beasts fiercely pounced on Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly, his figure flashed again and again, but in the blink of an eye, he calmly escaped the encirclement. What kind of speed is this? Fierce Crocodile looked at Qin Feiyang in astonishment. "Brother, take us away quickly." When the 7 people of Luo Tianshan saw Qin Feiyang appear, they were wild with joy and immediately roared. Qin Feiyang swooped down and swept towards the 6 people. "Kill it for me." The little scorpion swept past, staring at Qin Feiyang and roaring. Boom! Immediately, the group of sea beasts came back to their senses and chased after Qin Feiyang crazily. Why is there another scorpion? Looking at the little scorpion, Luo Tianshan and the others were stunned. It is the beast king on this island. Qin Feiyang rushed to the side of the 7 people and swept them up. Then, using the walk formula, he left without looking back. Chapter 2993. Run? Even if you run to the end of the world, I won't let you go. Brothers, chase! The little scorpion roared. Boom! Its body also grew rapidly. In less than an instant, a few hundred feet tall Wuxia appeared, its ferocious aura shocking the world. Greater undead stage. Luo Tianshan and the others turned to look at Wuxia, their faces pale. The skinny middle-aged man looked at Qin Feiyang and asked, "Brother, it's hiding in that cave?" "Yes. We were almost ambushed by it." Qin Feiyang nodded. Hearing this, the 7 of them couldn't help but feel scared. Fortunately, they didn't have the ability to break into the cave, otherwise, they would have become the sea beast's food. Luo Tianshan said in admiration, "Brother, you're really strong. Even a greater undead stage sea beast can't hurt you." "You flatter me. I'm just being careful." Qin Feiyang waved his hand. Luo Tianshan asked suspiciously, "Then how did you become invisible?" "It's a divine art. It can only be used once a day," Qin Feiyang said. "I see. No wonder you could escape from the cave." The 7 of them nodded in understanding. The skinny middle-aged man glanced at Qin Feiyang and said, "Brother Luo, when should we do it?" "Don't rush. Zhu Xia is still chasing us. If we kill him now, it won't do us any good," Luo Tianshan thought. The skinny middle-aged man couldn't help but look at the sea beasts that were chasing them. Indeed. Without this person, they wouldn't have been able to escape Zhu Xia's pursuit. Because Zhu Xia's cultivation had far surpassed theirs. But this person was different. This person had the heavenly god art. Even if Zhu Xia was at the greater undead stage, he wouldn't be able to catch up to them. As expected. Even if Zhu Xia used a supreme-level auxiliary divine art, his speed couldn't be compared to Qin Feiyang's. Soon, they had left Zhu Xia far behind. "Let's do it." The skinny middle-aged man couldn't wait any longer. A divine art that defied the heavens and allowed one to become invisible was very tempting. Although they were all seriously injured, they believed that it would not be a problem for them to sneak attack Qin Feiyang from behind. Luo Tianshan's eyes flashed. He looked at Qin Feiyang and asked, "Brother, did you get the first volume of the alchemy mantra?" "I didn't see any alchemy manuals, but I did find a universe ring." Qin Feiyang took out the interspatial ring from his bosom. "Cosmos ring?" Luo Tianshan was taken aback. He snatched the interspatial ring and dripped his blood on it to claim ownership. Immediately. Luo Tianshan frowned. "Frown?" The other 6 looked at him suspiciously. Luo Tianshan said, "Why can't you bind it with blood?" "It can't be bound by blood?" The 6 of them looked at each other and immediately looked at Qin Feiyang. The skinny middle-aged man said angrily, "Brother, you're too unreasonable." "What about me?" Qin Feiyang was puzzled. "What else?" "Only an interspatial ring that has recognized an owner cannot be bound by blood. Weren't you the one who took the initiative to drip your blood to claim ownership?" "Brother, we treated you with sincerity. And in order to let you enter the cave residence, we almost lost our lives. But you went behind my back and dripped your blood to claim ownership. Tell me, are you being honest?" The skinny middle-aged man said angrily. Qin Feiyang wanted to call him an idiot. How could there be such a stupid person? Didn't he know to look carefully first? "No." Luo Tianshan suddenly said. "What's wrong?" The 6 of them looked at him in confusion. Luo Tianshan muttered, "This interspatial ring seems to have a seal." "Seal?" The 6 of them were stunned and released their divine senses. There was indeed a seal. "Well, brother, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you." The skinny middle-aged man looked at Qin Feiyang awkwardly. "It's okay." Qin Feiyang waved his hand. Luo Tianshan said with a smile, "Come, let's work together to unlock the seal." "Okay." The 6 of them nodded. However, they couldn't unlock the seal even after using all their strength. "Don't bother. That little scorpion said that even he can't unlock the seal." Qin Feiyang said. "What? Even he can't unlock the seal? Doesn't that mean we need someone stronger?" They frowned. "Then keep it first. We'll find someone to help us when we get back," the skinny middle-aged man said and gave Luo Tianshan a look. What he meant was to keep it quickly and not be afraid that Qin Feiyang would snatch it away. Luo Tianshan looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, brother, let me keep it for now. You don't have a problem with that, right? I'm just helping. Qin Feiyang smiled slightly. Huh. Luo Tianshan smiled and put away the interspatial ring. The skinny middle-aged man looked behind and saw that Zhu Xia had disappeared. He said through voice transmission, "Let's do it." Okay. Luo Tianshan responded secretly with killing intent in his eyes. He can't wait anymore. Qin Feiyang muttered secretly. Although he didn't look at Luo Tianshan, he could sense it through the sensitivity of the kill formula. Whoosh! However, at this moment, two figures suddenly appeared in the void in front of them. There are people. Luo Tianshan's heart skipped a beat. He said to the skinny middle-aged man and the others, "Don't move." Qin Feiyang also saw the two figures in front of them. Their aura was very strong. They should have reached the peak Undying Realm, or even the peak Undying Realm. The skinny middle-aged man and the others also noticed the aura of the two figures and couldn't help but feel nervous. Don't be nervous. They shouldn't be coming for us. After all, we just found the first volume of the alchemy mantra a while ago. It shouldn't have been leaked yet. Luo Tianshan said through voice transmission. They nodded and tried to stay calm. Luo Tianshan whispered again, "Brother, quickly deactivate your heaven-defying divine art so as not to attract their attention." Okay. Qin Feiyang immediately slowed down. After a while, they finally saw the faces of the two figures. They were two burly men, both dressed in black. They were about 1.8 meters tall and had bulging muscles, exuding a ferocious aura. Moreover, from the strength of their aura, Qin Feiyang finally judged their cultivation. Peak Undying Realm. That's right. Both of them were at the peak Undying Realm. This was an existence on the same level as Long Zun. They had only been in the Sky Cloud Realm for half a month, and they had already met one Undying Realm expert after another. Even Old Hai, Old Hua, Little Rabbit, and the blood-red clothed old man who ordered the blockade of the sea area were all terrifying existences in the Sovereign Realm. This place was truly frightening. Stop. When they were close, Qin Feiyang and the others didn't stop and wanted to leave silently. But suddenly, one of the big men spoke, his voice filled with a fierce aura. "Greetings to the two lords." They were startled and hurriedly bowed. The two big men sized them up and asked, "Where did you get these clothes?" Luo Tianshan sighed, "Not long ago, we were attacked by a group of sea beasts and almost lost our lives." One of the big men asked, "Then have you seen a man and a woman?" "A man and a woman?" Luo Tianshan and the others were stunned. At the same time, Qin Feiyang's heart trembled slightly. Could they be the subordinates of the blood-red clothed old man? Suddenly, Luo Tianshan glanced at Qin Feiyang. Wasn't there a man and a woman? Could it be that these two were talking about the couple in front of them? Qin Feiyang also noticed Luo Tianshan's gaze, but his expression didn't change at all. He looked at the two big men and smiled, "Lord, there are many people in this sea area. If you ask like this, we don't know who you are talking about. Do you know what they look like?" "Yes." "Do you know what they look like?" Luo Tianshan also looked at the two and asked. One of the big men waved his hand, and two figures of a man and a woman appeared. Who else could it be but Qin Feiyang and the mermaid princess? However, Qin Feiyang didn't panic at all and pretended to look at the two figures. Luo Tianshan looked at them for a while, then looked at the two and shook his head, "Never seen them." "We haven't seen them either." Qin Feiyang and the thin middle-aged man also shook their heads. "You really haven't seen them?" Their gazes turned cold as a terrifying divine aura surged toward the group of people. "Lord, we really haven't seen them," Luo Tianshan hurriedly said. Qin Feiyang, the thin middle-aged man, and the others all had panicked expressions. But the difference was, Qin Feiyang was pretending, while Luo Tianshan and the others were really panicking. The two looked at Qin Feiyang and the others for a moment and said coldly, "Then let's go." "Thank you, Lord. Goodbye." Luo Tianshan bowed and said, then winked at Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang came back to his senses and immediately left with the others. Wait. However, after a few steps, one of the big men suddenly spoke again. They stiffened and turned to look at the big man. Luo Tianshan smiled and said, "Lord, is there anything else?" The big man's companion also looked at him suspiciously. The big man looked at his companion and said, "It was said that this couple is quite cunning, so we can't rule out the possibility of changing their appearance." "That makes sense." The companion nodded. Hearing this, Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows without leaving a trace. It seemed that it was impossible to get away with it. Because the big man obviously wanted to verify their identities. Sure enough. The big man looked at Qin Feiyang and the others, took out a few pills, and said coldly, "Take it immediately." "Okay." Luo Tianshan nodded and ran over, grabbed a few pills, and returned to Qin Feiyang and the others, saying, "One for each, take it quickly." After that, he took the lead to take a pill. The thin middle-aged man and the others also stepped forward, took the pills and threw them into their mouths. Qin Feiyang also took a pill, but did not take it. He played with it in his hand. "What are you doing? Take it quickly," Luo Tianshan urged. The two big men also noticed Qin Feiyang's abnormality, and there was a trace of cold light in their eyes. Qin Feiyang smiled and was about to speak. Roar. But then, accompanied by a series of roars, Wuxia chased after them with a group of sea beasts. "Oh no!" Luo Tianshan and the others' faces changed. The two big men also looked at the group of sea beasts and could not help but frown. It was also at this moment. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed, grabbed the pill, and stuffed it into his mouth. But in fact, he did not take it. He only pretended to take it. As for the pill in his hand, he naturally sent it to the Black Tortoise world. "You've finally caught up. Why don't you keep running?" Wuxia flew over and sneered. "Shut up!" The two big men shouted, and their pressure shrouded over. Wuxia looked at the two, but his expression was not nervous at all. He sneered, "You have accomplices." Chapter 2994. Looking at Wuxia's attitude, Qin Feiyang was quite surprised. Facing two peak imperishable realm masters, he was not afraid at all. Where did his confidence come from? The two men couldn't help but frown. "Why do you look so pissed? Is it because of this emperor's attitude that you've lost face?" Hee. "Your cultivations are indeed stronger than mine, but do you know who my boss is?" Wuxia sneered. "Who?" The two men looked at him expressionlessly. "My boss is the beast emperor of this area, known as the Sea Lion Emperor." Wuxia smiled proudly. "Sea Lion Emperor." Luo Tianshan and the others' eyes trembled. "Who is the Sea Lion Emperor?" Qin Feiyang secretly asked suspiciously. "What? You don't even know the Sea Lion Emperor?" Luo Tianshan and the others looked at him in astonishment. Qin Feiyang said, "This is my first time in this sea area. You don't even know the Sea Lion Emperor, and you dare to break in. I really admire you." Luo Tianshan looked at Qin Feiyang speechlessly and explained with a sound transmission, "This Sea Lion Emperor is the beast emperor of this sea region within 100 million miles. As for its strength, no one knows how strong it is." "Sea Lion Emperor," Qin Feiyang murmured. "This Wuxia, I guess at best, is a small follower of the Sea Lion Emperor." Luo Tianshan said again. How do you know? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Because this Sea Lion Emperor has a large number of beast kings under his command. These beast kings, the strongest has reached the peak imperishable realm. Luo Tianshan said. Qin Feiyang said in surprise and bewilderment, from what you said, wouldn't this Sea Lion Emperor be a terrifying existence at the sovereign realm? There are rumors saying so. But I don't know the details. Small people like us are not qualified to come in contact with such an existence. Luo Tianshan said. Qin Feiyang was puzzled, then how do you know that the first volume of the pill scripture is here? This, Luo Tianshan hesitated for a moment before replying, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure if the first volume of the alchemy mantra exists. Qin Feiyang was taken aback. I came across a treasure map by accident, said Meng Hao. It's a location marked on the map. It says that an important person once passed away here with the first volume of the Alchemy Codex. Luo Tianshan said. So you're saying that you found this place by following the treasure map? Qin Feiyang said. Yes. Luo Tianshan nodded. Qin Feiyang was speechless. He thought it was true, but he didn't expect it to be just a guess. At this moment, Zhu Xia looked at the two burly men and said proudly, how is it? Are you scared? Humph. One of the big men snorted coldly and took out a token from his bosom. That token was about half the size of an adult's palm. It was completely red as if it was dyed in blood, and there was the word blood carved on it. This is. When Zhu Xia saw the blood-red token, his pupils suddenly shrank. The alligator and other sea beasts behind him were also shocked. What's going on? Qin Feiyang and the others were surprised. Because the two burly men had their backs facing them, they didn't see the blood-red token and didn't understand what was going on. If you dare to be noisy again, not to mention small fish like you, we won't even let the Sea Lion King go. The burly man said gloomily. Zhu Xia's body trembled and he no longer dared to be arrogant. He was as obedient as a little lamb. It's really strange, looking at Zhu Xia's abnormal behavior, Qin Feiyang and the others were surprised. What was it that made Zhu Xia so scared? And this burly man's tone was too arrogant. He wouldn't even let the Sea Lion King go? The two burly men glanced at the sea beasts and turned to look at Qin Feiyang and the others again. This is, the few of them finally saw the blood-red token in the burly man's hand. Luo Tianshan and the others also changed color. Looking at the expressions of Luo Tianshan and the others, Qin Feiyang was even more puzzled and secretly said, Brother Luo, what is this? Why are you so scared? Brother, you don't even know this? Are you still from our sky cloud realm? Luo Tianshan transmitted his voice. Qin Feiyang's heart trembled. Could it be that the existence of this token was something that everyone in the sky cloud realm knew? In that case, would Luo Tianshan doubt his identity? However, Luo Tianshan seemed to be shocked and didn't think much about it. He secretly said, this is the blood token. Blood token? Qin Feiyang was taken aback. Do you know what the blood token represents? That is the blood hall. The blood hall is the most terrifying force in the Western continent. They are everywhere, like ghosts. None of those who have been targeted by them have been able to survive. This blood token is the identity token of a blood hall member. They are actually from the blood hall. Who are the man and woman I saw just now? They actually made the people from the blood hall come to find them personally? Luo Tianshan's heart was terrified to the extreme. Blood hall, Qin Feiyang muttered. He finally figured out the force that Old Hai and the others were from. The burly man holding the blood token in his hand asked, have you all taken it? Yes. Luo Tianshan and the others nodded repeatedly. What about you? The burly man looked at Qin Feiyang. I've taken it too. Qin Feiyang said. I didn't see it. The burly man took out another pill and threw it to Qin Feiyang. Take it. Qin Feiyang caught the pill and raised his eyebrows slightly. Hurry up, don't waste our time. The burly man urged. Qin Feiyang suddenly sighed. Everyone looked at him suspiciously. Qin Feiyang looked up at the two burly men, shook his head and sighed. I thought I could get away with it, but I didn't expect the people from the Blood Hall to be so cautious. What do you mean? Luo Tianshan looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously. When the two burly men heard this, they were slightly stunned at first, but then they stared at Qin Feiyang in surprise. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the pill in his hand entered his mouth. His appearance began to change immediately. Soon, his true appearance was restored. What's going on? Luo Tianshan and the others looked at each other. Wasn't this the person the Blood Hall was looking for? You're really cunning. However, no matter how cunning you are, you can't escape the pursuit of our Blood Hall. The two burly men looked at all this with a trace of ridicule on their faces. Sir, this has nothing to do with us. We don't know him at all. Luo Tianshan came back to his senses and hurriedly looked at the two burly men and said. Of course you don't know him because he just entered the Sky Cloud realm not long ago. The burly man sneered. Just entered the Sky Cloud realm not long ago? Luo Tianshan was taken aback. Yes. I'm not from the Sky Cloud realm, so I don't know anything about the Blood Hall or the Sea Lion Emperor you mentioned. Qin Feiyang said lightly. Luo Tianshan looked at Qin Feiyang in astonishment. If you're not from the Sky Cloud realm, then where are you from? Cut the crap. The two burly men glared at Luo Tianshan and looked at Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang, come with us. Where to? Qin Feiyang asked with a smile. Of course to the Blood Hall. The burly man said. What if I don't go? Qin Feiyang asked. You have no choice. Because this is an order from the Blood Hall Master himself. If you don't go, you will be killed on the spot. The burly man's eyes flashed with killing intent. What? The Blood Hall Master himself gave the order? Luo Tianshan and the others looked at each other and couldn't help but feel shocked. Who the hell is this person? What did he do to offend the Blood Hall? He actually provoked the Blood Hall Master to give the order personally? The skinny middle-aged man's eyes flashed slightly and he transmitted his voice, Brother Luo, this is an opportunity. What opportunity? Luo Tianshan was suspicious. An opportunity to please the Blood Hall. As long as we help to take down this person, the Blood Hall will definitely thank us. Maybe if they are in a good mood, they will also let us join the Blood Hall. The skinny middle-aged man secretly said. Luo Tianshan heard this and suddenly felt a rush of excitement. Since he planned to kill this person anyway, he might as well use this opportunity to please the Blood Hall. Thinking of this, the two men suddenly had a strong killing intent and raised their hands at the same time to attack Qin Feiyang from behind. The two burly men were taken aback and then began to ponder. Although they disdained the actions of Luo Tianshan and the skinny middle-aged man, this way, it would save them some effort. Luo Tianshan and the skinny middle-aged man also thought that they would definitely succeed. Because in front of Qin Feiyang, they had always maintained a sincere attitude, so he would definitely not be on guard against them. However, they did not know that Qin Feiyang had already noticed their killing intent. They also did not know that they were facing such a terrifying young man at this time. Whoosh! Just as the two men were about to attack, Qin Feiyang, who had not reacted from the beginning to the end, suddenly took a step forward. It was also with this step that Qin Feiyang disappeared in front of the two men. The two men were stunned. A trace of surprise also appeared on the faces of the two burly men. The next moment, Luo Tianshan and the skinny middle-aged man shuddered. This was because they felt a piercing cold current behind them. They saw that Qin Feiyang was standing behind them. "Brother Luo, be careful behind you." Seeing this, the other men quickly reminded them and immediately rushed toward Qin Feiyang. Hearing the few people's warning, Luo Tianshan and the skinny middle-aged man immediately realized that something was wrong. They wanted to avoid it, but it was already too late. Qin Feiyang reached out with both hands and slapped the two men's backs. Puff! The two men spat out a mouthful of blood. Of course, their energy reserves were shattered, and their entire bodies were sent flying like meteorites. What kind of power is this? The few people who rushed toward Qin Feiyang could not help but break and stop behind Qin Feiyang, looking at Qin Feiyang in shock. Even if it was a sneak attack from behind, it was impossible to heavily injure Luo Tianshan and the skinny middle-aged man. After all, Luo Tianshan was at the minor immortal realm. The skinny middle-aged man was also at the minor immortal realm. And this person was only at the half-step immortal realm. A half-step immortal realm cultivator actually heavily injured a minor immortal realm cultivator and a minor immortal realm cultivator with one palm. This was unbelievable. Could it be that he was hiding his cultivation? Those people did not dare to go forward again. They were already shocked by the strength that Qin Feiyang had displayed. Not only did they not go forward, but they also retreated in horror. Qin Feiyang ignored them, and did not pay attention to Luo Tianshan and the skinny middle-aged man. His gaze swept toward Wuxia and the other sea beasts. Seeing Qin Feiyang look over, the sea beasts could not help but gulp. In the end, Qin Feiyang's gaze once again landed on the two large men. "I didn't expect you to be so strong." The two men were also extremely shocked. Although they knew Qin Feiyang's name and appearance, they did not know much about Qin Feiyang's strength. "You flatter me." Qin Feiyang chuckled. "Don't be arrogant. Even people stronger than you don't dare to go against our blood palace. Let's go. Follow us to see the palace master." The two men's eyes turned cold. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.